Good evening and welcome back to the Barony of Olives. We apologize this evening for the delay. We had a bit of a sound issue, but we just got all that cleared up. So we're happy to be back and ready to start tonight's story. Thank you so much for being so patient in chat. You're lucky if you're listening to this on podcast or VOD because you didn't have to deal with it. You're welcome. Time travel is got its perks. So let me go ahead and start things off tonight with some quick announcements, and then we can jump right into the game since we're starting a little late. Just as a quick reminder, we've started sending this out to everybody, but just as a quick reminder to everyone, we are having the StreamPunks fundraiser on May 14th. And that is going to be on a Saturday, and it's just going to be a day of games and chilling and hanging out and chatting with friends and trying to raise money for the next chapter in the lives of the StreamPunks. This is going to help us cover the costs of upcoming productions, but also more importantly, our website, among other things, and help us kind of plant our flag in the space, which is very vital. And we thank you so much for all of your support, and to all of our Coffee and Patreon supporters. Thank you so much, family. We love you. That's the only announcement that I have tonight. Would anybody like to make any quick announcements?
I mean, nope.
Wait a minute. Bonnie, hold up. You've got an announcement? No.
Actually, I don't watch Star Trek Prodigy on Paramount Plus, and I have a lot of cons coming up. I have a con in Toronto, a con in San Francisco, a con in Vegas. So keep tabs on my social media, and I'll post dates. But there's not any coming up anytime soon, past like June or July. So when the time gets closer, I'm coming to your neighborhood, but not in a very creepy, stalkery way.
I love San Francisco. God, I miss that town. Anything else? Anybody else have any announcements before we jump into tonight's game? No? Okay. Then I think we can... yes, Sam?
Yes. As a StreamPunks announcement, tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. is the 6th episode of They Rode on Wolf, the one-on-one, or as Eric put it last session, 1v1 game of Forbidden Lands that we play together for our coffee subscribers on Discord Live for folks companion tier and up. We've been building this world for actual literal years, like we were in person when we started it, but now we're finally getting to explore the stories in it, and I'm enjoying it tremendously. I think y'all will too. All of the previous episodes are on our coffee feed if you want to get caught up. They're just a couple hours long, because gosh, one-on-one shots are intense. 1v1 even more so.
Yes.
But that's not my most pressing announcement. That would be that you see on twitch.tv the full Motley. I'm excited. Let's go. Hashtag full Motley.
And let's go ahead and begin tonight's episode of the Barony of Olives. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Barony of Olives. We're going to go ahead and jump right into our game as soon as my anxiety levels calm, as I almost met my final death just a few moments ago. So to give us a quick bit of a recap, the Motley had decided to prepare themselves to crash a party. Imogen Gale's College of Etiquette was hosting their orientation party, and to call it a party is a bit of a stretch. It's an orientation. There's going to be some like soft music in the background, a lot of people standing around and meeting each other with loud laughter from time to time, maybe sipping some non-alcoholic drinks while everyone eats off of platters. And a couple of old folks are going to give some speeches that are a little out of touch with the people they're teaching, and then they're going to go back to their dorms, and that would have been it. Perfect opportunity for a brand new Mottling of Kithane to come raid the place, particularly because one of the newest members of the Motley is confined to this school, is being made to go there by their parents. Well, things have been kind of unusual, though, in the Barony. Particularly because occasionally one of our Kithane will just up and disappear. In this case, after encountering these two nightmare creatures that you all encountered, one after the other, the first one you all beat down in public. Thankfully, no mortals were harmed during the beatdown itself. The second one you had to go and rescue Ruby from at the school that she was substitute teaching at, is this nightmarish hell dog was lurking. Of course, that turned out a little differently. Enter Professor Scooter, new best friend of the Motley, who now has decided to make his home in the library of an elementary school, where he fully intends on absorbing as much knowledge and recommending books to children who can see him. In the meantime, though, you all decided that it was time to fulfill that ancient promise of 3 hours or so and to attend this party. There's a couple of weird things that began to transpire when this plan was put into motion. And one of the big ones is that Giara was not replying to her text messages or messages. After getting all kind of ready for this party, you got up there and were dropped off. Some of us left some of our equipment in the trunk of the Uber by accident, namely a scooter. But upon entering the building, you all begin to feel a few things that are worth bringing up here for the recap. One is the intense presence of glamour. Now, that was not expected, particularly because Imogen Gale's College of Etiquette is a place that just, you would think, would be actually a place that was kind of hostile to changelings. This should be, you would imagine, a place of banality, or at the very least, somewhere place that's somewhat low on glamour, depending on how the school is being run. Your arrival would suggest that the school was not being run in a way that was necessarily something that inspired people, but had kind of stank of old money and discipline. There was no sign of Giara when you arrived, except the presence of a nightmare creature. One in particular that was revealed to the Motley, a creature that has made its presence known to Aisling for some time now, ever since her chrysalis. Aisling was able to tell you all a little bit about this entity that follows her around and that occasionally makes an appearance. And you all begin to suspect that it might have had something to do with the disappearance of your new Motley mate. And I do say disappearance because it became pretty clear at this point that when you arrived upstairs and went to her room, things were very wrong. You discovered that most of the floor you were on had been enchanted. There was a presence of glamour, a cantrip magic that was turning this entire place into a vision of a nightmare itself, like a horror movie. And then entering Gator's room, the place had been tossed about. It looked like there had been some kind of fight. And Gator's hoard, that duffel bag filled with medals and trophies that some of you peeked in.
I didn't.
It's all, don't, hey.
I didn't.
This
Would
is
I
all
lie to you?
Mm-hmm.
Please. Okay.
It was incredibly suspicious, and it seemed to suggest that something was very, very wrong. And this was validated further when you discovered Giara's shoe on the lawn outside of her balcony window, 20 feet down. You all did some pretty amazing jumps yourselves, leaping out of that window and using changeling magic to brace for your fall. Some of you anyway. Others just did a really nice roll into the wet grass. But suffice to say, everyone gets down and discovers evidence that Giara was in a hurry. She too probably didn't really care that much about how she landed, and certainly didn't care enough to go back for that fancy shoe with the ribbon on it. The bow, I should say. She tore off towards the north, leaving heavy footsteps behind her, and something was going after her. Footprints of their own. Footprints that looked humanoid. Not like the nightmare creature, which makes sense, as this being that has always followed around Ashling's character has never left footprints. It is a chimerical creature. It doesn't physically affect the world around it. It wouldn't have the capacity, theoretically, to leave muddy footprints the way this one has, at least not one in the autumn world, the way these footprints were left. And when we last left off, you were all making your way across that acreage courtyard to the northern boundary of the forest, this national park, which is just north of Point Reed. And Point Reed, of course, as a quick reminder, is the name of the freehold, the lighthouse freehold. So you guys are y'all are actually approaching sort of the city limit area north of Point Cassida itself. But that's not where we're picking up. We're picking up right now with the blurry vision of Giara slowly fluttering her eyes open. And the first senses that hit you, Giara, is a beautiful golden orange blur not too far away, and popping sounds that invoke memories of your childhood, of sitting around a fireplace and listening to your father talk on the phone Christmas morning, not paying attention to what the family was trying to plan for that day. Petting your cat's fur in your lap as she was purring softly, and drinking hot chocolate that your mother was kind enough to make for you. But that enchanting memory that is invoking so much nostalgia in you is muted by the fact that you start becoming aware of other senses. The pain that you're feeling throughout your body in various points. At first you don't feel it, but as you start to shift a little bit, more sensation. Wet leaves. You realize there's soil in your nose and you're laying flat on your stomach. It occurs to you the popping sounds you're hearing is fire indeed. And as you blink your eyes open, you see yourself laying in what looks like a darkened wood. You're on your stomach right now. You feel various points of injury on your body, either suggesting that something hit you or cut you. You're not entirely sure just yet. And then an instinctive, just impulsive cough as you've been breathing this whole time unaware, until it just starts to strike you that you've been inhaling smoke through your nose as you're waking up, which causes an adrenaline spike to wake you up a little bit. You kind of blink and realize that about 10 feet away from you is what looks like a bushfire that's starting to burn more and more, crackling in front of you. You have no idea how you got here. Your brain starts frantically searching for answers, and all you remember was arriving, getting out of the car after having a conversation with the red cap who was warning you about court, and then waking up here. There is no memory of what has transpired between then and that moment, this moment.
Oh my God. Giara is going to just like leap up, and she notices like she's not even wearing the same outfit. She has one of the like school's jock jackets on, and she's just like a mess, hurting and bleeding in different places. And just asks like, what? Where am I? What could be happening?
As you try to say that out loud, what comes out is a cough as you inhale more smoke. I need you to mark down on your character sheet because as you've leapt up, your body has informed you how bad it is.
Okay.
I need you to mark down on physical damage. You are hurt. You take hurt bashing damage, so put a B in the square.
Okay.
Chimerically, you have taken 1 level of bruised lethal damage.
Oof.
And you are wounded chimerically through bashing damage. You got roughed up.
Wow.
So your human physical form has taken some injury. Your chimerical changeling form has definitely been in a fight or something because you are looking down. It's also important to note here, and as a fighter, you would know this very well, Giara, is that chimerical damage, the way it manifests in the dreaming and on changelings, it's always way more dramatic than it actually is. So the dreaming has this tendency of kind of over dramatizing things that take place in a very theatrical sense. So a cut or a scrape in a chimerical body might actually come off like a gaping wound from a heroic sword stab. In this case, as you get up, you look down at your body and do see that your chimerical seeming, that fine dress that you usually like to wear, is torn to shreds and is barely hanging on by the threads on the side. It looks like somebody slashed you with something, from what you can tell. You can see just under your rib cage, the exposed all the way down to the hip, something just cut at you hard. And whatever it was a rough, like jagged cut. There's bruises all over you. And you become aware that the side of your face, which you thought was covered in wet soil, is actually a little bit of your blood that you're wiping off the corner of your mouth. Your nose has probably taken a pretty heavy bruise, and judging from the way the left side of your face is, because it's happened to you many a time before on many a boxing ring and many a Muay Thai fight and many a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu duels, somebody punched you in the face repeatedly. You can feel it. It feels like you've been pounded upon.
Oh, they're gonna pay. First, I gotta get out of here.
Make a perception check for me, and keep in mind you are at -2 dice because of your injuries.
Oh, goodness. All right.
So this is going to be a perception plus alertness roll. Perception. And as a quick refresher, you want 6s or better. Actually, no, I'm going to increase the difficulty to 7 because it's dark out right now. And you want 7s or better here. And it's important to note that 1s will cancel out successes. So if you roll a 1, it eats one of your successes. So keep that in mind.
Don't fail me now. Oh, good. Okay. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. 8, 8, and a 9. That's 3 successes.
Nicely freaking
and a
done.
9.
Okay. In what could have been easy to overlook, Giara, as you stand up, I gotta get out of here. The air is thick with smoke. That fire, it's not too big yet, but it is starting to spread, as California fires tend to do. And what you notice too is, as you've stood up, there's something else unusual about your surroundings. There's a circle that has been drawn around you. It's about 5 feet in diameter. It was around, you can see, it was clearly around where you were just laying on the ground. It looks like a thick red liquid. It's catching a little bit of the glint of the fire. So you can see the wetness of this, but it looks kind of thick and mucusy. Just this red circle.
All right. All right. So there's a circle around me. Giara's going to. Where's the fire coming from? Like I rolled, so I see this circle with
circle easy enough to miss because the circle that's around you is quite thin. It doesn't look quite very large.
Okay. Well,
and
Giara,
it's crude. It's not perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's going to acknowledge where the bushfires is at. Acknowledge the circle lines and markings. And is going to leap out of the circle in the opposite direction of the fire.
Okay.
Hopefully not touching the lines.
Okay, you leap over the lines.
Circle.
Easy enough. You are, again, as you jump, leaping over that circle easily. When you just hop down to the other side, you feel like sharp pain in your side where you've probably got a bruised rib.
That hurt.
Just a little bit of a sharp stab when you breathe in too deep, too fast. And then, of course, the aching. It's that pain you're going to feel tomorrow. Happy to report, though. Happy to report to everybody here, since this is the first time this group has actually ever seen chimerical damage before. Chimerical damage heals absurdly fast. A lethal wound, even at the bruised health level in chimerical damage, that'll heal in 6 hours on its own. Bashing damage, getting bashed down to wounded like you are right now, chimerically, that'll heal in an hour. Physical damage, well, that's a little different. Physical damage heals the way we are familiar with. Chimerical damage, depending on, especially if you're in the dreaming, chimerical damage kind of repairs itself. Doesn't take away the agony, though. But you are on the other side of that, and it's easy enough to move away from the fire, which is now behind you.
All right. She's going to... So Giara is going to just kind of clutching at her ribs, stumbling down. Is just going to be like frantically looking for a downhill towards hopefully a river. She knows that downhill equals river, and she's going to try to find it. If she's stumbling through the woods and just muttering to herself like, "Oh, whoever did this is going to pay."
Actually, with 3 successes at that point, when you've kind of looked at yourself and you're moving down towards the river, you do see that your knuckles resemble the knuckles of somebody who put up a fight. So whatever happened to you, they didn't get out of this unscathed, because you can see, you can feel a little bit of an ache in your wrist and a little bit in your thumb, but you're definitely seeing some wear and tear on the bones of your knuckles.
Can't wait to see what they look like.
Okay. The rest of you have made it to beyond the boundary of the wood itself. Now, this place does not have a trail. So immediately, everyone is having difficulties kind of pushing through the bush. I'm going to have you all roll a perception plus investigation check.
Okay.
And this is literally to just kind of scout around and see if you can't spot signs of anybody having passed through here. It is night out right now, so I'm going to put the difficulty at 7 as the light is beginning to die. However, if I remember correctly, y'all do have cell phones, so you could opt to like activate one or something like that, just to keep you all kind of aware of your surroundings, what you've got on you.
Wait, what does that do?
My flip phone doesn't have a flashlight on it, but it doesn't matter, because with my 1 die, with my 1 perception, I rolled a 9.
Ooh.
Amazing.
Amazing. I have a success.
Yeah.
For a fox puka, you may not be able to spot any tracks, but you're kind of just kind of like looking around. You guys can see Ruby's fox ears kind of twitching a little bit as she's like looking around the woods. Looks like she's got something of a direction. And about the same time, confirming that, you see Skeeta seems to respond too. How did you do, Aisling? Also one
would
success.
my insightful come into play? My insightful perception?
Not on this one, no.
Okay, then 5 successes.
Oh, only 5 successes.
Yeah, I didn't know if I should re-roll my 10s.
Oh yeah, no.
Yes,
I know.
why do we bother?
I know. Just like Gina's subtle mic drop there. Just like, oh, just 5. Sorry, guys.
Show off.
As y'all are kind of getting your bearings, I think she went this way. Aisling, you find her second shoe. And it's stuck. The heel is stuck down into the mud. So you actually see the direction her foot was facing when it left her foot.
Aisling just points to the shoe, because
It's
Aha. Ruby grabs it, and
That's definitely ground.
elementary, my dear Aisling. 'Aisling.
everybody who rolled a single success. Everybody who rolled a single success, I'm going to you're getting an idea, thanks to Aisling in particular. You now know which direction. That's okay. You definitely know which direction she headed, and you definitely get confirmation you're heading the right way. All of you, since you made your successes, become aware of the smell of burning. Now, for not only Holly is this a different sensation, because what is sent here with really, but also it's out of water. Fire, the air tastes a little thicker. The only way to describe it. Just tastes a little thicker.
I mean, that one's hard. Remember when I learned live on air that there's a thing?
Yeah. Do y'all remember that in Callisto 6 when Sam found out that you could smell fire?
I maintain it's some bullshit, but it...
Yeah. Yes, indeed. The air tastes a little bit thicker, and it almost has a strange like a taste the very, very back of the tongue, enough to make you aware that the air has changed around you. The rest of you can actually smell what is clearly burning wood. But with that, you have a direction. You've managed to make an investigation check, so it's easy to continue.
With that investigation check, is there still a second set of footprints this far out where...
With 5 successes, I will absolutely give that to you. With 5 successes, Aisling, there is a third set of footprints. Whatever was going on here, there were 3 people running through the woods.
Okay. Oh dear.
It seems that there's more than one pursuer of our crew. We should probably hurry.
We should probably pursue her then, shouldn't we?
Yes, let's add many more footsteps.
This is a great idea. Let's run towards the fire.
The what?
Someone explain. As we're just...
Yeah. You barely catch Aisling's words whispered as she gets charging forward into the woods.
Yeah, and not far behind her, but sidling up to Aisling, Skeeto will walk alongside and say, so there's this certain type of chemical reaction that creates heat and light. And we use it to warm ourselves. We use it to break down materials. It's called fire.
I've read about it. It's terrifying.
It can be very dangerous. You have to be careful with it. But it's also the most powerful thing for humans.
It's how we cook a lot of our food.
Mm-hmm. It's how we warm ourselves. What else? Everything. We can turn a material from one thing to another with it. We can melt.
Ruby's like, don't let me explain it. This is bad.
We can make glass by using fire.
Oh, that's an interesting way to do it.
Oh, how do you do it?
Well, with vents.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Hydrothermal vents, right? Well, I don't know what you call them, but that's what we call them.
Yep, that's what they do.
Yeah.
This conversation is fascinating.
I was going to say, it's actually doing a good job at keeping any anxiety down as y'all are charging into the dark woods in search of somebody who's being pursued. No, of course. And a few minutes as you were all charging through the woods, as described, you start to become aware, again, with 5 successes for you, Aisling, who's taken point here. Yeah. You begin to hear the sounds of somebody crashing towards you. It takes you a few moments, but it's that precious moment between footsteps where you begin to realize it's coming from ahead and it's not your friends from behind you. Something is approaching you quickly and loudly.
I think she immediately turns around while still running backwards and very quickly says, "We're about to crash into someone," and then turns around again and stops.
Yeah, I mean, Aisling's abrupt stoppage probably is enough to catch everyone.
And then I think she crumples into a little ball so that whatever's barreling towards them might not make eye contact and miss them.
Okay.
as like a secondary precautionary measure to be the surpriser instead of crashed into.
Okay. So the sluah basically looks like somebody just cut the puppet strings and collapses into a pile of limbs and then balls up. You all catch a glimpse of somebody moving through the woods up ahead. They're stumbling through, pushing off against trees, and not in any way being quiet about this. It looks like they are not making any efforts. It looks like they are moving quickly as well. At this point, I should tell you all, the sun has just dipped below the horizon. So you're getting like the deep reds and pinks and purples of a sunset overhead beyond the trees. But it also means it's gotten much darker out here, which also underscores that there is clearly a fire in this wood, because you're starting to see that sort of hellish amber colored glow starting to gather over the treetops not too far away.
I'm gonna like take a stance and raise my fist just in case. This might not be our Cinderella. So
on that note, your Cinderella hears voices up ahead. Very familiar voices, but one not so familiar. You're not entirely sure. I'm going to have you, just to see how the encounter is initiated. Giara, I'm going to have you make a wits alertness roll.
Can you repeat that? A what roll?
A wits plus alertness.
Oh, wits plus alertness. Okay.
And no penalty on this, so it's a 6. You're listening right now. So 6s or better. Oh, but you are penalized by 2 dice because you're injured. So there's that. Because you're in ouch mode right now.
So it's a total of like 3. Or
3.
Oh, I see.
3 dice.
So
yeah,
it's gonna be 2 plus. Okay. Yep, it'll be 3 dice total for me.
Hey. You could pull a Bonnie.
That's gonna be a 1.
1 success.
1 success.
You think you heard Skeeta's voice talking about chemicals?
Oh,
kind of like a breathless explanation and then a mumbling, but you couldn't make out what the mumbling was, but you've heard the noise is starting to come to an abrupt stop as you're charging forward.
Giara's gonna just like she recognizes Skeeta's voice, but is going to assume that it was just another nostalgic hallucination from earlier. So she's just gonna keep stumbling through, charging through the forest, and is expecting the worst, whatever she's gonna come across, and is ready to hurt.
Okay. I'll let you all decide based off of what you've rolled how the encounter goes, but bursting out through the trees, you begin to start realizing that it is indeed a humanoid of some kind that has some vaguely familiar attire on. It takes you a moment to all recognize that very familiar red tie in her hair before everyone starts to realize it's Giara. I
don't recognize her. I punch her. Just kidding.
Well,
I need to see your foot.
I was going to say you're going to.
That's Cinderella.
I need to see your foot.
That's Cinderella.
No, it's not. It's Giara.
Oh, is this our pumpkin?
You all come face to face at this point.
I have a lot of nicknames for you already. I have no idea who you are.
So we're like
Giara.
We're like,
hi.
Okay,
it's us. Hey,
where are they? Who are?
We didn't see them.
Hurt me.
Oh my god, I don't know.
Oh, that was Ruby.
Is this real? Is this an illusion?
No, we're here.
Prove
I
it.
slap her.
Prove it that it is you all.
I slap her.
Skeeta.
You're real.
This is Ruby.
Okay, so
she
it's
said
important
to prove it.
It's important real quick before we do anything else. It's important to describe Ruby and Giara to each other. So Bonnie, why don't you go first? What is it that Giara sees? Because you're a puka. You do not look like the other Motley members.
Yes. So, am I in my puka type form?
You're always in your puka form.
Yeah,
You're a puka. But
yeah. That's right.
yeah. Unless you tell me you're spending glamour when no one's looking to shapeshift into a fox, I'm assuming you're always in your humanoid puka form.
Right. So you see someone with fiery red hair, but with like covered in clothes of like this patchwork, like chaos clothes, and also paint splattered, like an overall button that's completely off, that has fallen off. Her hair is up wild and cut in different places from, obviously, it's a new style of hair that she has created herself. Not cutting her hair off in the mornings for random reasons. And her hair kind of goes up a little bit at the top, where you can see like almost like a silhouette of like what would be like looking like fox ears, and freckles and a mischievous glint in her eye that has nothing to do with mischief whatsoever. Oh, and Pipsqueak is behind her, which is a little tiny purple tiger. You can't see Pipsqueak though, I don't think.
It's more than that. There is a I'll leave it to you whether or not you can spot where Pipsqueak is, if Pipsqueak is visible or not. But if Pipsqueak is visible, there is essentially a plump purple tiger cub that has been that is just grappled on to, and holding on for dear life onto her leg.
Ruby's, but yeah, he's around my leg.
Where is what's up, Giara?
I'm just like she's trying to make sense of like what's in front of her. Like, wait, okay, like the pain and like seeing everyone's familiar faces, but also
I didn't slap hard, FYI, but she did say prove it.
Oh, that's okay if you did. I mean, it kind
okay. I made sure that I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Giara, look, you spent most of your life learning how to throw a punch and take one, but when your face has already been punched repeatedly, that slap hurts. It's enough to kind of snap you into like.
It's like a dull, numbing kind of a pain. Like, oh God.
Wait. It's nice to meet you.
I think at that point you would all realize that Giara looks like she has been roughed up bad. Her clothes are in a bad condition. You can see the swelling on the side of her face. Her chimerical damage is very present. You can see spatters of blood all over her torso. But the physical damage is also very apparent. She looks like she has been jumped.
Do you remember anything that happened? Do you remember running out here to the woods? Someone chasing you?
I'm so sorry. I don't remember anything that happened.
Oh, it's okay. Don't be sorry. We just want to find out who did this and hurt them back.
You find them? Did you see anything? Any creatures? I don't even think a person could have done this to me. I think it must have been a monster.
There were 2 sets of footprints that were following your fallen shoes.
And she looks down at your feet to make sure that they were indeed your shoes.
Oh, my shoes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're barefoot.
I didn't even notice. Oops.
We have
right. Are you all okay?
Yes, but we are currently in a burning forest. So it remains to be seen.
That's real? That's not an illusion?
Doesn't smell like it.
Yeah, a little fire never hurt anyone.
Did you see fire?
Well, perhaps we should not add burns to our injury list here, so shall we get out of this forest?
Yeah. Is that fire out of control?
I don't know. I don't even know. I mean, maybe the creatures put it there.
We should probably put it out before we go.
Yeah, it could do a lot of damage. California is a very high-risk zone.
It's not like humid out here or anything, and there's no rain or.
Well,
no.
The ocean.
So dry
I'm
here.
backing up. I'm done.
Y'all haven't noticed it.
About this, and they're making it sound worse and worse.
Yara is going to join them and just kind of like, I could go.
Well, Aisling and I can check out the fire.
I'm gonna call emergency services.
Thank you. I must rest, I think.
Yeah.
Actually, and while all this is going on, I'm going to be digging through my purse and getting some Neosporin and Band-Aids because, again, I see a lot of roughed up kids, and I also used to go to medical school. So sit down, and we are going to fix you up, or at least put a couple Band-Aids on your face here. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you hurt the most? Your 10 being your head, 1 being your feet.
What number is for everything?
Okay. I'm gonna need more Band-Aid. I'm gonna hold on. This calls for, and I'm gonna pull out of my purse like the jumbo pack, but they're like dinosaurs and smiley face ones. I was like, this calls for the mega pack.
Okay.
You're gonna be very colorful, by the way, because they're all different colors and dinosaurs and smiley faces and rainbow.
Do me a favor.
Yara grabs like a rainbow one. Are these magical or something?
Yes.
Do they have properties that are?
Do me a favor, if you could, Ruby, roll a perception plus medicine check.
Oh shit! Yeah, I went to med school. What am I rolling again?
Perception plus medicine, and it is dark out, so it's going to be increased difficulty to 7.
Sure. I think. I would like to use a merit or something that I have.
Okay. Yeah, you got a merit?
I do. That's going to work for this, I think.
Okay.
And it's going to be, let me find it. Fake it.
Ah, yes. Okay. Tell us how that merit works.
Oh, let me find it.
Okay.
Because I'm looking through my little book.
There's a lot of folks watching. Lots of family is quite new to the dreaming.
I don't want to say it wrong. That's why I'm looking.
We appreciate
Fake it. Where's my fake? There you are. I talk a convincing game. Sometimes I'm even so convincing enough to be right. Maybe I can claim that I can make that jump or ace that test or hit that target. I may be criminally lucky or possess hidden talents. When I successfully lie about my proficiency in a task, I can with a subterfuge or manipulation roll.
Okay, so you're gonna roll subterfuge plus manipulation. No, roll subterfuge plus manipulation.
And then I can okay.
You just told everybody you went to medical school and you know what you're doing. So roll subterfuge plus manipulation.
Okay. And the difficulty of the roll to carry out my ambition reduced by 2 if I succeed.
That is just such a wicked merit. Good Lord.
I love it. So what is it? Subterfuge and manipulation?
Subterfuge plus manipulation. And the difficulty is going to be 6.
Cool.
Do you have any specialties?
Hold on. I don't need them. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes. Wait, more.
You guys are 100% convinced right now. You did not realize that your Puka has actually had advanced medical training, and yet here she goes. I need you to make a perception plus medicine check.
Okay, and then
the difficulty is reduced by 2.
So that means a 4 or better.
5 or better.
5 or better. Oh, I see. 1, 2. Okay.
Because the difficulty was 7. But you got past the increased difficulty because you just lied your way through it. You literally lied your way through the rules. Two successes. Okay.
2 successes.
So
with my 2 die.
What's amazing about this is you're literally just sort of like bullshitting the fuck out of the way you're like, oh yeah, well it looks like you have a contusion here. And you're not even sure what the hell that word means, but you're like, oh yeah, this is clearly
follow my finger.
Bruising. Ruby seems like she knows what she's talking about. Ruby, the success, 2 successes is a pretty solid roll. You're pretty sure that chimerical damage is a stab wound. Somebody had a blade on Giara at some point and got her with it. Probably was the wound that took her down before she blacked out. But that's going to heal itself. You're not too worried about that one. The physical damage, though, as I said before, it's one level of bashing damage, hurt. But
and that's mostly her face.
It's her face, but kind of all over her body.
Got it.
Again, she looks like she got jumped. Something or someone pounded on her with heavy impact, like something very intense, like beating on her. Basically, it looks like somebody jumped her in an alley kind of style. But you would also, with those 2 successes, you would also notice that Giara is showing signs that she has been in a fight because her knuckles and her hands are all exhibiting signs that she probably got in a few good licks herself.
I'm gonna be like looking at her hands, like putting the Neosporin on it, and go, you're gonna be a beautiful color of nebula tomorrow, but I have a feeling so is the people that met you.
Yeah, I'd very much like to meet them again. Thank you.
Did you wake up near here?
No. Further up the hill over there, near the fire, actually, is where I woke up, I guess. I guess I was knocked out cold.
Good thing there was a fire nearby.
I guess. Where were you all? What has happened to you? Are you safe? Is somebody pursuing you as well?
No, you're a professor now at the library.
Yeah, we.
It's like you asked. It's like you asked, like, what color is the sky, and Holly said, "Oh, I like cars."
Welcome to my world on land.
Yeah.
Giara glances at them like, what professor? Is there a professor that's bad or a good? What's going on? Like, are they?
Not anymore. They were a nightmare, but now they're Professor Scooter.
Professor Scooter.
Yes, exactly. Skeeta made him a pipe. A pipe dream. A dream pipe?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Giara's just like out of it. Like she feels this is a dream, literally. Like this could just be a hallucination, this entire thing. So she just accepts it.
Fair. You were getting out of a car. It was early afternoon. It is now creeping up on evening, and you're in a burning forest with, clear evidence that you've been assaulted. So it is definitely surreal and dreamlike.
Yeah.
Up ahead, while this conversation is happening, Skeeta and Aisling have just entered into what is obviously the clearing that you overheard Giara speaking of. Making a perception plus alertness roll for me here, please. And the difficulty is increased. Actually, there is enough light now because of the fire that the difficulty is 6 again.
Okay. I also have night sight. I forgot about that before.
Oh, shit. Okay. I think that would actually get rid of the penalty for, if I remember correctly. That should get rid of the penalty.
What's the current penalty?
No, there isn't one right now because y'all are in the zone where the fire is. There's enough light being shed by the fire at this point where you guys can see. Night sight, so you can see equally well at high noon, midnight, or entering pitch darkness. Is this a supernatural? Night regardless of the lighting conditions, your eyes adjust automatically so you can see equally well at high noon, midnight, or entering pitch darkness. The adjustment is instantaneous, so if you're standing in a dark room and someone lights a candle, you're not shocked by it. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay, then keep that in mind, Lisa, because Skeeta is not taking any penalties for the rest of your time out here.
May I ask if insightful applies here?
Insightful is going to have more to do with like piecing together somebody's intentions or reading what someone is going to be doing. It's not so much piecing together a crime scene, unless you have the person who might be a suspect on the scene of the crime that you could interrogate or get an idea of what was happening.
Okay, so it's more person related.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's more of this is if you want, you can roll perception plus investigation as well if that would work better for you.
Nah.
What was it before? Perception alertness?
Perception alertness.
Okay.
4 successes.
Aisling is just like...
They were all 10, which is why I'm asking. I rolled 4
God.
10.
Your dice love you.
4 successes. Yeah.
My God. Okay, so both of you see the circle. It would have been easy as hell to have missed. But there is this bizarre, like slimy, mucusy red circle of liquid that has been made on the ground. You can see a clear indentation where someone was once laying. You're not sure what the story behind that is, but it looks like there's this bizarre circle that has been made on the leaves and on the floor and the grass here And sure enough, there is a fire that is starting to grow in size about 20 feet in front of you all.
What's
And
the
at
diameter of the burn zone?
Right now, from what you can tell, it's about 20 feet in front of you. So right now, what you're seeing is a line that's about 6.5 feet across of fire. That is, you're not sure how far back it goes from where you are, but I will say it looks dangerous, and it looks like one tree is going up as you are arriving, but it's in a position now where it's still possible to stop it. Not easy, but possible.
And because this is a like physical fire, would any of our magic help to put it out?
Yes.
Oh,
Particularly if you have particularly if the magic lets you use the ability of weird and you have the nature realm. But if you don't have the nature realm, you can always fake it by burning a point of glamour. And on that note, let me just tell everybody that since we have Adriana back, I decided to reset our story points.
Oh.
So everybody who is part of the family that is supporting us at the StreamPunks level in coffee, all of them have story points that they have access to, and anytime, or that they've given access to you, because we have so many dreamers that are supporting the StreamPunks, their glamour and their dreams are allow you to spend that story point. So if you want to spend a point to gain a point of glamour, or to or not gain a point of glamour, but to stave off banality or anything like that, you can use those abilities to do that. So just feel free to activate story points when you feel inclined.
Cool.
So that's what you all see in the clearing. It's a pretty small clearing, but whatever happened here.
Okay.
The circle, the fire about 20 feet ahead of y'all.
Let's focus on putting out the fire.
Wait, what did you say?
Oh, I just said, let's focus on putting out the fire.
Okay, yes.
Aisling
pushes her trying to scream it.
Okay. How do we do that? Skeeta just stares at it.
Yeah. That's a very good question.
Y'all can try to roll for it.
Yeah, I think just like I don't have any particular magic with this.
I think same. Like I have weird magic, but nothing that looks like it would.
What are your arts? What arts do you have?
I have Summer, Wayfarer, and Sovereign.
And the only one that might apply is Autumn, but the Autumn that I have is controlling shadows, so it's not winter or anything. So this might just be I could jump real high over it, and maybe it's nighttime, right? Okay. So what I'm gonna do, it's nighttime. So Aisling is going to turn her back to the fire, and she's gonna like brush the leaves and underbrush away from from the ground until she hits solid dirt. Okay. And then like Professor Scooter might, starts kicking up the wet soil with her fingers towards the flames to try and suffocate, and like putting sand on a fire, right? And you can do that.
Yeah,
kind of wet.
You suffocate the flames with the dirt.
So you see what she's doing, Skeeta. She's gotten down on all fours, and she is trying to reenact like basically a hyperactive dog scooping up sand as quickly as possible onto this fire. It's an enormous, what she's trying to accomplish is a tall order, but it is doing something. I'm gonna have her roll for it. What would you like to do in response?
I would like to just help the dirt that she's scooping get high enough into the trees. However, I might do that.
How would you do that? You mean, are you trying to catch it mid-flight or something, or
like push it even further up, so it goes.
So you're basically going to kick dirt as well, and just try to scoop it up while she's trying to scoop it over. You're trying to throw it up, and okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to have you both make a roll on this. This is going to be very difficult what you're trying to do. However, it's entirely possible. You never know. If the dice work with you, you never know.
I have a weird question.
Yeah, what's up?
Can I use realms without using an art, or is the realms only alter your art?
Realms alter arts. Realms specifically are designed to describe how your changeling can manipulate those particular facets of reality.
Oh, I have an idea.
Okay, what's your idea?
Okay, so since this is going to be very, very difficult,
yes,
I would like to use my magic. I have an idea. As Aisling is kicking up this dirt, and it is working, but fire's fast, and there's a lot of brush that is dry here, even if it's near the ocean. And I'm going to use my naming arts.
Okay.
I did that last time, and I can't remember what I did, but yeah, I want to use my naming arts.
You used nickname last time.
Yeah, that's what I'm using.
Now remember, we kind of accidentally flubbed that one.
We did. That's why I was like, I don't remember how to do it the right way.
Okay, so let me pull up.
But this isn't a person, so this is just a thing. This is, it's fire. I don't know.
It is a thing, yes. Which just honestly, that's where realms come in. How do you affect a thing? Sometimes naming is very specific. Sometimes not so much. Naming is potentially one of the most powerful of all the arts, but
it also makes it perception.
Correct.
Like we would,
even if it's.
It depends on how powerful the naming ability you're using is.
Right.
Sometimes using naming.
So the question was specifically like, if you called a car a clunker, it wouldn't work anymore. Right. But.
So I'll read it to you.
Yeah.
Before Changeling develops the talent of discernment, needing to uncover true names, she learns how to apply a more cursory label to someone or something. The effect fades over time, but the target's identity warps and bends to the nickname provided by the Changeling. While the cantrip stays in place, everyone around the focus of the cantrip sees them through the lens of that nickname. So a knocker begins calling her mother-in-law Warthog, and the poor woman begins to snort when she laughs. After an arrogant she stole her girlfriend, the jilted Pisky nicknames her ex Stilts, causing people to see her long, beautiful legs as too long and comical. So what it would basically do is glamour kind of influences how people engage with whoever. Think of it like cursing. Like you've cursed someone to everyone's going to think your blonde hair is...
But what about with inanimate objects? I'm more interested specifically in it, like you call, like the examples. It says an impressive Magnum revolver nicknamed Pea Shooter. The bullets no longer break the skin, so it does technically, it's not like the person just doesn't think that they're shot.
The realm, that's correct. That's where realm comes into play. The realm can determine what can be given a nickname. So for the duration of the cantrip, people, even strangers, can unconsciously refer to a target by the given moniker. If the target is an inanimate object, it conforms to the spirit of the nickname. So a car named Clunker doesn't start reliably. An impressive Magnum revolver, so in this case, even though, of course, it is in fact quite animate, the truth is fire is technically going to be classified as an inanimate object, the same as water might. It's not a creature. It is an inanimate object, as it were, in this case. So you're going to try to use nickname on the fire.
Yes.
Okay, so this is going to be very tricky, and it's going to cost you some glamour.
Okay.
For two reasons. One, you're calling upon the weird, which is you're using the power of the dreaming to affect the real world, the autumn world, and you're nicknaming the fire. That's the first thing. The second thing is you are going to have to use seen, which is, I don't know if it's a realm you've got, but seen is actually okay. Seen is great because seen is going to help you determine how much this cantrip is going to affect. If you're going to put out this entire fire using it, you're going to have to use at least one dot in seen. And the last thing you're going to have to use is you're going to because in order to make it conform to the appropriate realm, you're going to have to use the nature realm. If you don't have that, you can spend another point of glamour to gain access to it. But for every point of glamour that you need, you're going to have to, or every point of realm that you need, you're going to have to spend a point of glamour. Does that make sense? So it's like temporarily, it's cheating the system. You can spend glamour to rank up in a realm if you desperately need to use that realm.
Okay, can do. So I'm spending 2 glamour points, 1 to do it and 1 to get a nature point.
Well, the good news is, since you're targeting the fire, that is literally a base element. That is nature 1.
Great.
So, for scene, a small discrete enclosed area, I'm going to say that's going to require scene 2, a small cottage building. Yeah. So because I'm gonna make that scene 1, a small, discrete enclosed area. I did describe it as 6 feet. It's not that far back, but 6 feet. I'm literally taller than this fire is long right now. So
sure,
you can probably use scene 1. So I'm gonna say scene 1, nature 1.
Okay. So I'm spending 1 point of glamour.
You spend 1 point of glamour, and you have to, because you are using a realm that is a modifier realm in scene. You do have scene, correct?
I do.
Okay, so keep this in mind. You had to spend a point of glamour in order to get that point in nature, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you're spending 2 points of glamour now. The last thing to just keep you apprised of is anytime you use scene or time, the difficulty of the cantrip immediately increases, because now you're altering literally space and time. So I recommend coming up with a bunk. Because right now the difficulty is going to the difficulty is going to start at the baseline for cantrips. Yeah. The difficulty starts at 8.
Yes. Okay. So as she's digging and she gets an idea and like pops up really quickly, she in her hands she has a little stick and a bunch of dead leaves, and she squishes the dead leaves on the end of her stick and starts roasting them over the fire. And with the intent of giving the nickname Campfire.
Okay. I'm going to say that's definitely a level 1 bunk. So go ahead and spend 2 points of glamour.
Done.
Call upon the dreaming and roll your dice. That is going to be your art that you're using, which is naming, plus the lowest realm that you're using, the lowest rank in your realm, which I believe is going to be nature.
Okay.
And the difficulty is going to be 7.
Okay. Okay, I got 2 successes. I got a 10 and an 8 and a 6, but the 6 is not a valuable here.
Aisling.
I got 2.
Sorry for the pun, but you were on fire. All right.
I've rolled a 10 on every single roll we've done.
Skeeta, you watch as Aisling is like kicking up this dirt, and she just idea comes to her head as she turns around and she grabs the stick. You have no idea what the fuck she's doing. She grabs the stick and starts putting leaves on it, like skewering them like on a spit or something. And at first you think she's being silly, but then a few moments later she just points the stick and says, "Campfire," like delighted. Campfire. The fire responds immediately. You watch the flames stop swerving and begin to they crawl off the branches, almost like little Miyazaki puffballs of flame, just kind of walking down the tree trunks. Each area where you see the fire spreading, they just kind of coincide and shrink down until they're right in front. You watch the fire literally pull itself off of all the things that it's burning, the smoke drifting up to where it just was, and it slowly gathers down into a small little campfire, just resting on top of a small pile of leaves right in front of Aisling.
That was close, huh? Marshmallow? And she like gestures her stick towards you.
Thank you. I take it.
I text
an imaginary marshmallow.
I text Ruby a picture of the campfire with an all good.
So about the time you're looking at the stab wound, Ruby, is when you get the buzzing on your flip phone.
I open it, and of course, I can't really see the picture very well because I have an old flip phone and not a smartphone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh. I think they're camping?
Yeah, I guess I do the group chat.
Good idea. But she doesn't have her phone, and Holly doesn't know how to use one.
Oh, yeah.
So that's all right. I think
we have to get a phone. Well,
Who has the bag? The hoard bag.
Not me.
I think it's Skeeta, actually. Wasn't it
No,
Skeeta?
it's me.
It's
No,
Ruby.
because Skeeta would have tried to steal
that's
it.
right.
Okay.
That's right. The Puka just
It's me.
tricked the GM.
So what you're saying is Giara hears bzz, bzz, coming
In a
from
bag.
immediately behind Ruby as Ruby
Yes.
holds up her phone with a message
The woman
from
that
the group
slapped
chat.
you, the woman
Oh.
that slapped you and is now like trying to put a bandage on you. You notice that directly behind her is a very familiar, very important bag.
She like at first she's like the phone is in her face and wait, and then Giara catches a bit of the bag behind them and asks, "Beg your pardon, where did you get that?"
At school?
No, but I mean, like, where did you acquire that bag?
At school. I'm a teacher.
That is my bag.
Oh, you mean this bag?
Yes, yes. And Giara is just regarding it with like, there's this glint in her eye. She just kind of grasps it. If you do not mind, I will be taking this back.
Just let go of
You
it.
can continue. I appreciate it, but attending to my wounds. But I will be keeping this safe, if that is okay with you.
I mean, sure.
You don't mind? Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Do I
This
mind?
is
Am I
mine.
supposed to mind, Eric? Does it have like some pull on me? It doesn't really affect me, does it?
It's not the Ring of Mordor.
Okay, that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah. You should be
don't
afraid of
know.
the Ring of Mordor. It's very
Yeah.
scary, but it's not in that bag. Only trophies.
All right. Well,
It's a
thank
great
you.
bag. Good job. You're a winner.
So are they okay?
I'm just a little
With the
confused.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
yeah.
I mean,
Fine.
I'm just gonna show them the picture and not answer the question.
What is that device you got there? Is that like an iPad shuffle or what? Looks a bit ancient.
Oh God.
Oh dear, I remember
Suddenly?
those.
What?
I said, does anybody else feel their age suddenly?
Yes.
It looks ancient. Is that an iPad shuffle? Oh God.
No, I feel it in every moment.
What is that? What is that on the screen?
It's supposed to be a photo. This is actually one of the newer models, but it's made to look retro. Pretty cool, huh? Nostalgic. I
Interesting.
just put
It
it back
looks
in my
like
purse.
somebody's playing RuneScape, trying to make a fire or something. That's interesting.
Are you okay?
I think they're okay. I'm sure they'll be back any moment. If you,
Yeah. Holly
worried, we
having
could
no
go
more
find them.
patience. Holly having kind of lost the patience to find out whether or not the rest of the Motley
I'm
is
supposed
okay.
to stare at this thing that tells me no answers that everyone's making such a big deal of all of the time.
marshmallows.
Marshmallow.
It's a good thing.
I'm sorry, did you say marshmallow, Bonnie? Just checking.
Marshmallow.
Marshmallow.
I needed it. Thank you.
Marshmallow camping. Let's all pause in a moment of silence for Lindy Hops. Not that she's gone or
Hey,
anything.
yeah, no, she came back. We made sure of it.
Yeah, there was people that went through a lot of trouble to make sure that there wasn't a remembrance required. All right. So
I have a feeling they're fine. But we can go and check on them if you like.
Yeah, Giara just kind of like places her bag down and brushes herself off a bit. Thank you so much for helping me. I'm a little sore still, but maybe we can assist them. And then she gestures towards Holly. You can stay here if you need to. I understand.
No, I'm going to make sure they're okay.
Are you
And we're-
sure?
I just start pushing. I'm going to find out about uphills in the outdoors very quickly.
Okay.
But Holly is very brave.
Okay,
All right.
so it sounds like the party is slowly going to reunite up ahead in the clearing. As everyone starts to gather together, the night has returned to relative darkness, except for the fact that that great fire that you were all certain were up ahead. You see Skeeta and Aisling sitting around a campfire, looking at you both curiously. Skeeta appears to be pretending to eat something, with a kind of a clever little grin on her face, while the rest of you are noticing that this fire that you were certain was about to burn this forest to ash and cause havoc on the California ecosystem has been reduced to what looks like a very small, well-contained little fire that Aisling is cooking a pair of leaves over on a stick.
I'm still concerned. I think I give it, like, as soon as I see it, that's far enough. Thank you. I can see them.
Okay.
I can see they're okay. They're unharmed.
Okay. At this point, without having anybody roll for it, I'm going to assume that everybody can see the circle at this point.
That's what I was just about to ask. Do I notice the circle?
It's been messed up a little bit from people moving through here, but yes, you do see it.
Wait a minute. Hey, there it is. That's the circle I woke up in. Does anybody understand it or know what it could be?
Can we roll for that?
It's a dream.
Would I know something in fairy lore?
Or gray mare? Grimmy Grims?
Grimmy Grims.
Grimmy Grims. There. It shall be called nothing else. Exclusively Grimmy Grims.
Anyone who has ranks in Grimmy Grims, make me an intelligence plus Grimmy Grims roll.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think I have Grimmy Grims.
You're welcome. But for those of you who are new to Changeling and who are listening at home, this is Grammari, or as you might pronounce it just from looking at it, Greymare on the knowledges column on the character sheet. But it shall henceforth be known as Grimmy Grims.
Grimmy Grims.
Eric,
Oh yeah, I do have one.
So the difficulty of this is actually going to be much higher. So it is going to be an 8 difficulty.
Okay. I got one.
I got one success. Oh.
Yeah, I got one.
Oh no.
And actually
I got none then.
No successes?
No. Yeah, because I rolled. If it's difficulty 8, that means my
8 or
9
better
would have been a
success.
success. But I have
rolled
a 1.
Yeah, it's gone.
There was also a 6, but that doesn't matter because
right.
Okay.
You can double it if you roll a 10.
If you have a specialization that applies, you can 10s will explode. Yeah.
I don't think I do. I just have one in Greymare.
Okay.
Me too.
Does Fey lore come into play?
So who rolled a success? So
Am
we
I
have
muted?
one from Ruby.
Eric, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just a little. It's because we're having that little slight audio delay, so we're getting a little bit of the crosstalk. But I think I heard you say you had one success, right?
No. I was asking if Fey lore comes into play. I got another bunch of 10.
100%.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay, so 1.
Jesus. Gina is the Taliesin Jaffe of this group.
No, even better. She's the Gina.
That's
3
too powerful,
successes.
Sam. 3 successes.
She is.
All right, so who got one success? I think that was going to be Ruby, and I believe Giara. Did you get one success as well?
I did get one.
Okay. So Ruby and Giara, something definitely. I mean, it's obvious. This is a weird scene, and something about this feels like it's in your wheelhouse somehow. Yeah, another way of saying it is something about this feels remarkably World of Darkness-y. Something is going on here that is not clearly. This wasn't just a beat down in the middle of the woods. There's a couple of things that don't match up, and it's just bizarre enough and seemingly unconnected enough that it has to be connected. Aisling?
Yes.
All of this screams bunk. from the weird circle on the ground to the lighting of a forest fire, what you can only imagine is whoever tackled or beat down your Motley mate used magic and initiated a hell of a bunk to fight back against the banality to initiate some kind of changeling magic here. You are confirmed by this as you squat down and look at that weird mucusy red liquid that's glistening.
Is it jelly?
And it's ketchup.
Oh.
You just reach down and take it up. Yeah, that is absolutely ketchup.
It's a condiment.
What? What? Was I to be a ritual sacrifice with ketchup?
No.
At least they were safe.
I don't think they were sacrificing you. I think you might have been unintendedly in the middle of someone casting a cantrip. I think you were attacked by fellow Kithane.
Should we ask?
Ask who?
I just look around.
Hello? Is anyone here? Oh.
Can anyone here talk to bugs?
Yes, of course. That's what I'm asking. Do you? Oh. I'll cast Willow Whisper.
I had a cousin named Bugs once.
Once?
Then I had to stop calling him that because Warner Brothers threatened to sue me.
He didn't like me.
You can't be called Bugs anymore.
You can get some carrots.
All right. So, 2 questions real quick. Gina, what is Ashling's temporary glamour rating, and what is your banality score?
Yeah, no, it's bad. I'm literally currently researching how to regain my glamour.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I've used my max amount of glamour.
Are you at 0 temporary glamour?
Correct.
Okay.
And my banality is the standard. I have not
Like 3,
collected any banality, and I just have 3. Yeah.
3. Okay, cool. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Okay, so what are you doing, Holly? Walk me through it, or roll me through it, as it were. Tell me what the system is here and what you're using.
Yes. So I'm going to go up to the plant I perceive as having the most character by whatever note of judgment, but that is in this clearing that had a good view of events. And I'm going to cast Willow Whisper, which is Primal 1.
Okay. And
okay.
So you're definitely going to be using the realm of nature then.
Yes, which is my favorite realm.
Oh, sweet. So you automatically get a reduction in difficulty here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So
which is why it's like, yeah, of course, just everyone.
Yeah, because in order to you're going to talk to the tree then.
Yeah. That said, I would love to be rolling nature, but the realm selected determines what the changeling may speak to the world about, because Willow Whisper allows you to speak to any plant, animal, object, or natural feature, any stone, any jeweled ring, any shining blade.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tuck that away for later. But the realm selected determines what the changeling may speak to the world about. Actor and Fae would allow them to ask a tree if a certain person has passed by and what they were doing. Prop and nature would allow the changeling to make inquiries about objects or natural phenomena themselves. So this feels more like Actor and Fae. If I want to ask about the person who was doing things here.
I completely agree with you. Nature at rank 3 lets you affect living plants. The cantrip you're using by default lets you talk to trees. So I think it doesn't apply at all. I think it's going to be, as you said, Fae or Actor. Yeah.
Yep.
Which one would you prefer? You
I
can
would
use both of them, and you would have to pick the lowest of the two.
So in what sense do I use both of them?
So this would allow you to ask the tree about both fae or humans.
So I would roll on both, but okay.
No, you would roll on the lowest.
Yeah, I would roll on. Yeah, I would roll on the lower and then ask about both. Got it. All right. Yeah. That sounds like the play. Especially since I know since it seems fairly likely to be fae. But this didn't seem entirely like there was a lot of shadow magic back at the school, but it didn't seem like the stuff that Aisling was comfortable with, like watching Aisling fairly closely throughout all of this. So I don't know necessarily that this is someone like us. This could be some other kind of magic. So I would like to roll on and ask about both in case this is a non-fae magical creature.
Which ability is this? Which art is it? Which cantrip rather?
Primal Will-O-Wisper.
Primal Will-O-Wisper. Okay, cool. I just want to have it in front of me.
Yep. I have the full text right here.
Cool. What page is that on?
That is on page 215.
215. Okay, 215. Will-O-Wisper. Primal was when I played Changeling. Primal was my favorite art. I loved it. It was just so cool. I loved how mystical it was. Okay. Do you want to use a bunk here? Out of curiosity. Because the difficulty of this is going to start at 8. It's going to immediately drop by 1 because it's a favored realm. Oh, wait, no. Right. Nature is your favorite realm. We're not using nature anymore.
Yeah, we're not. Unfortunately, we are not using it. It is natural, but yeah. If I were asking about the fire, that would be nature. That would be legit. I thought about it, but no, this is actor and fae. So I'm going to go up to this plant that I perceive as having character.
Okay.
And I'm going to stop just a few feet before it, and the same way as I did for the Baron, I'm going to bow very deeply and let my casters rise in my bow.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, that's easily going to be, I think just the formality of bowing to the tree, that's a great, like, easy level 1 bunk. So that'll drop the difficulty down to 7. Yeah.
Cool. Great. Awesome. And am I just rolling my art and realm?
Art and realm. Difficulty 7.
Ooh, those are tiny numbers. Those are tiny, tiny numbers. So when you're super powered as, like, a changeling, doing low-level magic is still harder than doing higher-level magic because you're rolling fewer dice?
Not technically, because you can actually, remember, you're not rolling fewer dice. You're rolling whichever is the lowest number in your realms. So if you're using a rank 1 like cantrip and you have 5 in nature, then you by default are starting with 5 dice if you're using that realm. Do you know what I mean? So how did that go, Sam?
So the thing is, it wasn't quite a botch.
Okay.
I think that tells you a whole lot.
Gotcha. So you lean forward and whisper to the tree.
Hello? This tends to work with our kelp forests, but this is land forest. I hope, oh gosh. It never occurred to me that you might speak a different language. I didn't study land trees. I didn't realize until right now. I tried so hard so that I could be prepared, and I didn't even think to speak the language of land trees. Am I getting it right?
And the cantrip's magic begins to fade.
Oh no. I need to learn land trees. None of you speak land tree?
So you all just witnessed Holly go up to a tree and basically just start whispering to it. And then looking very distressed and then carrying on a rapid fire conversation of whispers to the tree. And then realizing something and then turning back to you and asking if anybody speaks land tree.
I only speak shrubbery.
No, they're always beating around the bush.
Not responsible for the damages incurred by those puns.
And unfortunately, I didn't think of it ahead of time. That would have been good for a bunk.
All right, what are y'all doing?
Well, how do I feel?
Yeah, actually, why don't we do this? Because we started a little bit late, so I stretched it on a little bit, but why don't we take this moment to take our 10-minute break and regenerate a little bit from the first half of our game. We will be back in 10 minutes to answer some of the questions, including how's Aisling feeling right now? Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in 10 minutes. Welcome back to Barony of Olives. Sorry. Anyway, yes, welcome back to the Barony of Olives. We are back from our break, and we're going to go ahead and jump into where we left off, which was the big question as to whether or not our changelings were being affected by the fact that they were now out of temporary glamour. The answer is no. Your temporary banality is not exceeding your glamour rating, so right now y'all are fine. You are definitely feeling like you've kind of exhausted your resource of being able to manipulate the glamour around you, but you're not. Again, none of y'all have racked up any temporary banality yet, thankfully. So at the moment, no one is really suffering any of the ill effects of the autumn world starting to dull or mute your changeling Kithane selves. But you do have this peculiar mystery on your hands now. You're in this clearing. There was a forest fire. There has been clear usage. There was obviously a bunk used here. What was its purpose and why is a complete mystery. Here are the facts that you have so far. 2 assailants attacked Giara and chased her into the woods. Presumably there was some kind of scuffle or a fight, a battle from the looks of Giara. And then the evidence of, thanks to your high roll in the Grammari, evidence of changeling magic being used. And beyond that, you're not sure what's happened here or why. You found that weird, ruddy, greasy circle of gloop that glistened red in the firelight, which you now know is actually just ketchup that was used, and you have that potential fire. By now, the sun has completely set, and a gentle chill from the Pacific Ocean has set in. Some of you are more affected by that than others. I might say Holly is not so much, considering that the average temperature of the Pacific Ocean would chill most of us to the bone, thanks to that Northern Alaskan current. Yep. You can thank the Northern Alaskan current for that. In fact, colder water is better for nutrients, which is why the Channel Islands Harbor and the coastlines off of California are some of the most rich and diverse ocean waters in the world.
Kit certainly enjoys it.
The more you know.
Yes, scuba diving off of the coast of California is very good, from what I hear.
Yeah, but I don't have the 1-inch freaking wetsuit I would need. I'm a wimp. The point is it's cold, which is the point here.
Well, I don't know. I think. Well, okay, fine. I'll relent. But you're all in the clearing. This information being presented to all of you. You have a mystery on your hands and a damaged Motley member. But you're all assembled once and for all. What do you do?
Yeah, I want to find out who
Disney World.
And everyone just starts talking at once.
Going to Disneyland.
Long moment of consideration, and then everyone's got an idea.
I'd like to find out who did this and what happened.
Giara, I also want to remind you that technically right now you're supposed to be at that event thing.
Oh.
Will you get in trouble for not going to that?
I believe that is the least of my worries right now. I'm far more concerned with what occurred here.
Okay. I just wanted to check in and
thank you.
See what you meant to do.
That whole travesty is just, it's pointless to me, so.
Okay.
Holly picks at the edges of what they've been wearing. Just a little dejectedly. Like they got all dolled up, all cute.
Oh,
they're just kind of picking.
Wait a minute. Were you all? You had my bag, and you're all dressed up.
Oh my god. Holly is totally Kaylee from Firefly right now. After getting that big pink dress.
Except it wasn't, because I don't think that would be in Skeeta's closet.
Yeah,
but
not,
it is the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Twinsies.
Gotcha.
As I say.
What happened? What did you do?
We came here to attend your event, back you up, but then we came to your room to find you, and we saw this chimerical mess everywhere, and we tracked you down.
I just heard there was a costume party, and I was in.
Did you attend the event? I guess. Did anything happen there? Were there monsters, nightmares?
Your whole floor was ravaged with a chimerical, not a chimerical, I suppose, an illusion.
And there were no hors d'oeuvres.
Did you happen to make the bed sheets as a rope?
Yes, I did do that.
Oh. Did you also happen to disappear your curtains?
Actually, Aisling, that was another creature. That was not me. They were consumed by, what was that fellow's name? I forgot. I could barely remember. Interesting.
It's been a day.
Thank you so much for coming out to try to find me, but I think I'm all right. Actually, I'm not. I honestly would have been so much more lost if I didn't run into you all, so thank you.
Maybe we should get you back to your room so you can rest up.
My almost medical degree has concluded that you might have a slight concussion.
Right. Instead of going back to that dreadful place, how about I get us a place somewhere better.
Better than
all
a party?
of us?
Yes, I can. I have the means.
Sure.
Okay. Let's rest up and
we could also
figure
go
out
back to my place too.
Your place?
Sure.
It has a little water.
A little water.
A hot tub and a pool.
Oh,
but
delightful. I could melt away in one of those right now.
Well,
it is very warm.
We should get back there then. Before we leave, I would like to just maybe Aisling and I can just do one more check to see if we can see what direction maybe these people went in. So
What
that we
did
can
they
pick up
do
the trail
after they did their bunk?
Right.
Okay.
Aisling, do you want to look with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so make it a perception plus investigation check here.
All right.
And the difficulty is going to be 6.
Perception, investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One success.
4.
Jesus.
That's what I'm talking about.
I really like being quiet and looking at things.
I mean, that's what Sluas do, is collect secrets. So you're pretty good at spotting stuff. It's easy enough to see that there were other people in this clearing with Giara. What's unusual is you can't see any signs of them having left. Footprints don't lead out of this place. You can see some shuffling of feet. You're able to discern the differences between your own and the other 2 people that were here. But beyond that, you don't see anything other than the tracks that led in here as you sift around, seeing the indentations in the soft soil.
Oh. Well, that's certainly unnerving. Kind of neat. Either they flew away, They dug underground and hid their tracks, or turned into one of these trees, or teleported away completely.
Or they're invisible and they're with us right now.
If they were invisible, they'd still leave footprints.
Can I look up
Just
into
be standing here?
Did you start a fire? I accuse the tree.
The tree looks guilty but says nothing.
I'm gonna look up.
I thought so.
in the
It was
trees.
harmless. Its bark was worse than its.
No.
Ruby, roll a perception plus alertness check if you would, please.
Why are you giving me these that I don't have any?
You can also roll investigation, but you're mostly just kind of try to catch a glimpse. But Ruby immediately just starts glancing up into the trees.
May I also investigate?
Where did my character sheet go? There it is. Perception. And what was it?
Alertness. What's up, Gina?
Oh, I was just saying, can Aisling investigate your stab wound? Maybe together we can decipher what sort of weapon they plunged into you.
Instead, Eric, can I use my a dex roll? Because I'm looking at the trees to see how climbable they are. With like my street you know what I mean? Like I'm using my carnival training to see how climbable these trees are, to see if they had climbed up into the trees and like ran off that way.
Then I would say if you want to do that, then I would say make a dexterity plus investigation check.
Yeah. Give me,
which is probably the most unusual role I've ever called for, but
I'm an unusual character, Eric.
You're just really good at negotiating.
Oh, come on. Okay. 2 successes, but I rolled a 1, so technically 1 success.
I mean, all of these trees look relatively climbable. This is a pretty wild area. This is a national park just north of the compound. So out here, I mean, technically, you're not even allowed to be out here right now after hours. These trees look, I mean, California has a rich diversity of trees. The ones out in the national parks are all pretty climbable until you hit like the redwoods. But
you know what? I'm going to climb one anyway because I can get higher ground and see if there is anyone around.
That is a dex athletics check.
Yes, it is. And actually, but even more than that, I'm going to use not perfect balance. What is it? Is it perfect balance? I have a merit for this.
I'm sure you do, since you dropped almost all 15 of your points when you were creating this character into merits.
Look,
merits and flaws, merits. I should say.
Merits are cool.
Although it's worth noting that you can only buy a certain number of merit. Well, I should say you can only spend a certain number of points on merits. Bonnie just decided to buy up the maximum number you can purchase.
Look, man, you know,
they are pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. Merits really work in this game.
Hold on, let me look at mine.
I don't think she really has the fake it merit. I think that one only works if you also fake taking the merit.
The faking the merit. Now we're getting into like paranoia RPG level meta.
Recursive faking.
Actually,
I'm actually not even a puka.
As I'm actually remembering this, there's no limit on how many merits you can buy. It's how many flaws you can take. There is a cap on that so that you don't max out your character.
I'm trying to find the one I'm looking for.
What is the name of it?
I think it's either is it perfect? I think it's perfect balance or.
Oh yeah, I remember you having that. Because you were talking about it when you were going to jump off of Giara's balcony.
Yeah, and I failed that one, or I didn't. I just
you just had perfect balance until you fell.
Exactly.
Yeah, you had perfect balance until physics took over after you left. After you went.
I made it look good though. I looked good.
You make this look good.
I did a performance. Okay. I'm looking for it. I'm so sorry. I need to write the specific page it's on because I'm looking at all the
whether through constant training or inherited skill, your sense of balance is akin to that of a circus performer or a bird on a high wire. It's very unlikely you'll fall during your life. You may trip, but you'll always catch yourself before you fall, before you fully lose your footing or handhold. This merit functions as actions such as tightrope walking, crossing ice, and climbing mountains. All difficulties involving such features are reduced by 3. So in this case, I was going to increase it by 1 because you are climbing in the dark. However, I'm going to drop that. So it would have been 7.
Okay.
Now it's 6, 5, 4.
Great. Dex Athletics?
Yep.
Awesome.
You're getting to see Ruby's childhood coming into play here.
Oh, that's 4 successes because I rolled a 5, 6, 7, 8.
I mean, you just take up that tree. Like
I'm the tree master.
With the tenacity of Sam Delev climbing on top of a castle, you ascend that tree and pull yourself up onto one of the branches. You're now in one of the higher areas of the tree. By the way, Sam never did that. They totally did that. He never did that because you're not allowed to do it. They did that.
Hey, if I weren't allowed to do it, they wouldn't have let the sign saying "Don't do that" break and hang by the side. It's true.
If it was dangling, was dangling aside.
Did you go up the spiral thing and you went through the door?
There's no photographic evidence.
There's no photographic evidence.
You are amazing.
There's
I
just like climbing, much like Ruby, who probably just finished her roll. Deflection.
Deflection. Okay, so Ruby, you're gonna be able to climb that tree.
Pipsqueak came with me.
Sure. I'm assuming, and until you tell me otherwise, I'm assuming Pipsqueak is just like a baby monkey is just clutching the side of your it's basically latched onto your leg.
He has claws. He can climb himself.
It's just kind of anybody who's watching, anybody who can see the little tiger cub gripping the puka as the puka ascends into this tree. Pipsqueak looks like he's snoring. He's quite asleep, clutched onto her leg. Just as you climb up to the top of this tree, you get to the first tree limb. What are you doing now? You've made it up easily.
Cool. Nice view. What am I doing up here? Oh yeah.
You just see a bunch of okay. You see a lot of greenery. It's thick. So a lot of branches, lots of twigs, lots of everything just kind of in your face. And it's dark. Okay. But you are correct. It is beautiful up here.
That's nice.
You can see the tree.
Breathe it in.
Thankfully, the tree looks scarred, but the tree is going to be fine. It looks like Ashling's very quick to action. With her and Skeeta managed to, on top of Aisling naming the fire and Skeeta's throwing dust and dirt and soil up into it, it looks like the damage to the plant life here has been mitigated significantly.
I feel like I'm just gonna look around and see, like, has this tree been climbed before? Like, maybe they did climb and try and like.
Okay. That is definitely going to be a perception investigation check.
Damn it.
And that's going to be a tricky one. Considering it's dark up here and it's not impossible to tell if this tree has been climbed, but it's certain they would have to have made a mistake.
I know what I'm definitely using my points on to help me.
So I'm going to set
my one perception. Oh!
I'm setting the difficulty at 8.
A 9.
Okay. With
D&D
that
Beyond
9,
loves me today. I'm using my wasp character sheet to use the dice on the side.
You're rolling the d10s. You know, there is an Onyx path. There is a dice roller y'all can use. I should just post that to y'all. But
I just have it up because it was there. But yeah. So I feel like Wasp is actually the one rolling so well. My D&D character from the one shot. Anyway.
So essentially what you get as you are looking around up here is there doesn't seem to be any signs anyone has climbed this tree except for you.
I'm going to start climbing down.
Okay, easy enough to do.
Yeah. I'm going to get down and look at everyone and been like, they're invisible.
Okay.
Lone trees are not talkative at all. I'm sorry they're giving you trouble too. Even up there.
Oh, the trees were fine. I just couldn't find the people that did this to her, as I point to Giara.
Skeeta is walking around this area, and I would like to do some type of role where, like, if someone's invisible, I guess it's some type of perception of like other life forms here. I don't know, currently.
You want to know if somebody is like lingering around here unseen, just kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No matter what they may be.
I can assist with that. I have a specialty in hidden magic.
Ooh, okay. You know what? I just realized, similar to Bonnie's role, I'm not sure if this would work in like a reverse way, but I do have a hiding specialization.
I would use that. Yeah.
Okay.
If you are specifically trying to see if you can spot like invisible individuals, like a detect invisibility spell, is that what you're kind of trying to go for?
Sort of. And if it's if we want to use the hiding angle, maybe it's like I'm trying to see if someone is hiding here, whether in plain sight by being invisible or literally somewhere, like hiding behind trees over there or something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, I can go ahead and give this to you because you've all been rolling pretty thoroughly on the clearing. There's no physical signs that anyone is hiding here in the clearing.
Okay.
Okay. You can without having to roll, like you can stalk around and see. It pretty much, again, it is kind of eerie because you can see where Aisling has uncovered where their tracks were. You can see sort of like Humperdinck tracking down the mighty duel after like showing up after the great sword fight. You can see that there's a lot of footprints all over the place. There was clearly a fight here. But what you're discovering, Skeeta, as you thoroughly examine the areas around here and listen out into the forest and look for signs of anybody, there's no sign that these people ever left this clearing, but there's no sign that anyone else is here. At least not that you can tell visibly anyway.
Interesting. So Skeeta will wonder aloud, you know, if they never left by their feet, maybe the bunk they did was some type of magic to leave some other way. Maybe that's what they were doing, trying to leave.
Like a portal magic.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, going to the dreaming or something somehow.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Would Agalia know?
Possibly. Be worth asking her.
She was going to talk to us about the nightmares you said when you had half a conversation, and then you said that you had a whole conversation.
Mm-hmm. Into the glowy box. Yeah.
And you never had the other half.
Well,
because we were going to the party, and I flew my outfit again.
Mm-hmm. So that's a good point, though, Holly. Maybe we should bring all this to Sir Agalia and see what she says.
She might know who could do big magic.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is big magic. Your floor, I looked to Giara. It was big magic.
Big magic. Interesting. Giara is just like on the forest floor, kind of like leaning against a tree, clutching herself still. Magic.
Yeah. Also, your school has got a lot of it. It's like a freehold.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Do you feel it?
I mean, I'm so disgusted by the place that I don't really focus on what I feel there. But if you all feel it, I trust you.
Maybe you just need some fresh eyes. I can find some for you if you like.
Did you mean that literally?
Will that upset you? And no.
Thank you for the offer. But more than anything, thank you so much for finding me. I appreciate that. Well.
So we're going to Skeeta's and not the party?
It's all up to you. I mean, it's happening right now, isn't it?
I think
it is.
All up to you.
You are stabbed.
Yeah.
I might have to lay low a little bit. I must rest. But you all should go. Oh, I'm just a little weak. I'm sorry.
We have to get you to the little water. Come on.
But attend
I'll take you by the hand, and I'm gonna start moving you along.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
This is not super effective. One-handed wheeling is dodgy at the best of times. And we're on a forest floor, and Holly, bless, don't know what they're doing. So I apologize that they knock into your knee, and I hope it wasn't already sore.
Yeah, Giara just kind of like grimaces a little bit, but like hides it and doesn't, make a big deal out of it.
That's good.
All right, I'll be right as rain soon enough. I just need some rest and maybe a spot of tea or something.
Doctor's orders.
Doctor's orders. Thank you. Right, and then Giara gets up and just starts to still takes Holly's hand and walks with them out of the forest.
Okay. You all leave this dark forest, leaving behind a very strange scene. When you get back into the acreage, there is something kind of fun about tromping through the woods in the middle of the night with a bunch of your friends, even though there's a heavy mystery hanging over your heads. There is a sense of completion as you're all making your way through this darkened wood. And it does occur to you in brief, like a fleeting moment for each of you, that there's just a sense of bond that's begun to form. You all rush to save a member of your Motley out in the middle of the woods. And even though there's sort of an unusual mystery that's starting to develop around all of you, you're kind of having that quiet moment where you're able to just be with yourself, but you're surrounded by people that you care about. Each one of you kind of experiences this a little bit. About the same time, you break through the front part of the tree line back onto the property, and you can see about an acre away on the opposite end of the big grassy hill that you've just been confronted with now that you're back at the academy. You can see from here, you can see the sort of the event hall that I described. One of the three buildings is lit up, and you can hear the faint noises in the distance of some kind of gathering taking place there. There's a few lights on in the main dorm room areas, but as you all approach the dorms, there doesn't seem to be anybody inside. What is specifically your next destination? Where do you all wish to go?
I believe we're going to Skeeta's.
Okay. So Skeeta, you open your phone to call an Uber, I'm guessing.
Yep. And once again, I'll get a nice big one so we all fit in.
While Skeeta is calling the Uber, Aisling leans very close to Holly and just whispers, obviously, do you want to peek through the window at the party? And this is the best version of a party, so Aisling is also very happy, and sort of like kind of you see her get a little giddy with her body. It just kind of like gets a shiver, and she runs over to the window, like looking back at you, like make sure we're going.
Perfect pacing. I mean, like excited, giddy, and zoom zoom are always perfect tempi together.
Holding onto your top hat, you rush over to the window to creep through like a gothic nightmare that you are with Holly and Tail. The Uber is going to arrive in 10 minutes. And by the way, when you have summoned the Uber, Skeeta, you see you have a voicemail waiting for you as well. When you get up to the windows, y'all can easily see inside because these windows are top to bottom. These are like 7-foot windows that gaze into what looks like a small hall, and then a much larger hall behind it where there's 2 double doors that open up to what looks like an auditorium area. Inside, you see flower arrangements and lights that are giving a soft golden glow to lacquered wooden walls and a deep ruby red colored floor. You can see paintings on the walls and it lacks a certain. It feels kind of drab. It feels very much like it's trying a little too hard to appear prestigious, and the paintings on the wall look like people who maybe historically they pay homage to or show their appreciation for. Certainly in the school this new, no one who had anything to do with this. But like paintings on the walls, and people inside are dressed in what looks like formal attire. There is no dancing. There is nothing like that. It is indeed, it looks like an excuse for people to show up for speeches and finger foods. Their idea of a party apparently is just a bunch of people being introduced. But you do see books are open out front, and somebody is, looks like an older woman is currently in the process of having a discussion with a few of the younger students in the double doors leading into the main halled area.
Giara approached and joined with Holly and Aisling as well. Just kind of clutching
peeking
herself
in through the windows.
She just wanted to crap talk this place.
Giara,
rubbish.
Giara, it looks like Americans trying to intimidate sort of the English like royal sensibility. It looks like, you know what I mean? It's got that sort of aesthetic where they're trying a little too hard to look prestigious and ancient when this place is 2 years old. And as you're looking in through here, they've tried to build this place as some kind of like refined, like a place with pedigree, even though it's been here for less than 5 years.
Giara glances over at Holly and sees the like excitement in their eyes and just kind of, decides to stop really crap talking it, but also reminds them like, well, Holly, there's other grand events like this, far more grand, far more enjoyable than this, that perhaps later we could seek out. And you can get all dressed up again, and we can all properly enjoy a good place with good people.
And good hors d'oeuvres. I'm going to pick up Pipsqueak and let him look in through.
So it's a little startling when all of a sudden Ruby is there with you guys.
Yeah, I didn't really make myself known. I just kind of showed up. And I was like, what are y'all looking at?
By the way, just so I don't forget, and I can't believe I'm enabling this, but it is in the spirit of the game, and it is the right thing to do because it's perfect. But Sam, please bank 1+ bunk that you can use later for the pun you gave earlier.
Thank you.
Whatever. So I totally forgot to do that. I wrote it down as a note.
And I look
groaning.
So I look away from my little window pane, which clearly is made of a slightly different, more rose-tinted glass than everybody else's pane. And look back to Giara. Those will be good parties too. I guess I'll have to have a different first land party. This one wasn't it, but any party can be enjoyable if you enjoy it.
Technically, we're about to have a party at Skeeta's.
Uh-oh.
That too.
What makes it a party on land?
Well,
I'm an award-winning pillow fort creator.
What's a pillow fort?
Exactly. Just
perfect.
Smash cut too.
Yeah. But I literally have
we can totally do that.
String and
the door swinging.
Skeeta will have also ordered a bunch of food since it's a party now. So pizza, that
all right, I'll get my 100.
Everything, just like everything. We're ordering a bunch of food.
Okay.
Now this is a party.
So entering into Skeeta's domain, pushing into this very nice apartment that she has a very beautiful view of the Pacific Ocean. Skeeta's doing quite well for herself. from the moment you guys walk in the door, you can tell that your Motley mate, I don't know how to, is the appropriate pronunciation, is it boss ass bitch, I think is kind of the sort of impression you all get when you enter this room. Skeeta is like, the mom energy you've been getting from Skeeta from the beginning has been kind of like indicating that she has her shit together. But when you all enter Skeeta's domain, what you see here is a woman who, when she is not tromping through the bushes with all of you and fighting nightmares with her bare hands, this is a woman who is living quite well and is clearly someone of authority. And indeed, there is going to be a hot tub made available wherever Skeeta chooses to put it, and wherever you all decide that's going to go. But yeah, it's easy enough to put in the order that you've got. And I'm deeply envious of the slumber party y'all are about to have, because pizza sounds amazing right now.
I know. I immediately go to the dresser and go, "Hey, my comb!"
Put that back. No. Yep. I have my eye on you, Ruby.
This is actually perfect, because then Holly can very carefully lay out what they were wearing at the party in Skeeta's room, like maybe on the dresser or something. They just get changed out of it because they're about to jump in the little water again, because obviously. So they lay it out on top of the dresser. I think conventionally a human might have gone for bed, but like dresser. And they flatten it out very nicely, because what the hell is folding in the ocean? Pat, pat. Stay there. That's Skeeta's, and maybe someday she'll let me wear you again for our first real party. I'm gonna go try the pizza now. And I'm out, having talked to the outfit.
All right, you guys have the evening. I would say at this point, you starting to feel a lot better. That chimerical damage, it's been an hour, so that chimerical damage has definitely worn off. You're still kind of bruised up, but I'm going to say at this point, you were only suffering from 1 level of lethal bruise damage, which gives you a penalty of 0, so you're fine. It just looks aesthetically like you've been stabbed. And then your bruise level also actually would have healed up. So you would have gone to the next one. So now, yeah.
Okay.
You've gone from hurt to bruised. So you're starting to feel a little bit more like yourself again. Doesn't hurt that you're relaxing in this nice apartment.
Just feels like right after a judo tournament, or the night after.
Yeah.
Not bad, not bad.
All right, you have the evening. I am curious though. I am going to ask for a roll from Holly to find out how much Holly likes pizza.
I'm so terrified.
Me too. I want Holly to like pizza badly.
I want them to like pizza well.
This is important to me.
Okay.
Pressure here.
Hey, no one put cilantro on it. We're okay. We got this. Apparently, Bonnie, I rolled real bad on my D100 to find out a couple of these foods, and their commonality was having cilantro. I'm just scared out of this. Okay, I'm gonna look. Ah, 70.
Okay.
We like pizza.
Hey, not bad, not bad.
What kind of pizza was it, Skeeta? What kind? Because I'll be particular about pizza. Totally not to just gumper rerolls.
Besides sauce and cheese, everyone choose an additional topping. Pineapple.
Oh God. For everyone who is listening right now, I apologize for how hungry you're about to get.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got pineapple. I need 4 more toppings myself.
Goat cheese.
Goat cheese, pineapple. I'm gonna add anchovy.
I was about to say anchovy.
I don't even like it, but I mean, I'm just adding it.
Y'all are
Holly does.
Pizza.
Huh?
Yeah.
Holly probably likes it.
Yeah.
Jokes.
2 more toppings.
No,
Look, we do have more than one pizza. I'm just letting y'all know.
Yeah, but all the toppings are on one pizza.
Put it all on one.
Come on.
This is a seaside town, so I bet there's an option. I bet
onion.
there's an option for imitation crab.
Imitation
There's
crab?
got to be. It's California. Yes, there's definitely an option for imitation crab. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I've
And then
never seen
onion,
that.
I heard. Audrey, was that onion?
Yeah, onion. Let's see. Barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce. Oh, my God.
Bell peppers.
Bell peppers.
Wait, there's a lot
Holly,
of
did you pick
toppings.
one? Sam, did you pick a topping?
No, because I'm Holly. I'm experiencing them.
Okay, then that's the pizza.
All right, goat cheese,
All right.
anchovy, pineapple, artichoke, imitation crab, onion, barbecue sauce, and bell pepper. I'm
Holy shit.
frankly shocked I got a 70 out of that.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm shocked any of us are eating that, but you know, to each his own.
The bouquet of flavor that you just hit. Can you make
Everything
any
is
sense of that?
happening so much.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Oh my gosh. All right.
But
And
pizza.
I have to. All right. Kit is also enthusiastic because we roll for Kit as well. Kit is like 54. Kit
Okay.
not as actually that is almost the lowest score Kit's gotten on anything because Kit
Kit's not
loves
sure.
everything. Oh, but Kit doesn't love any food as much as Pipsqueak, who's Kit's baby. Like, we learned this when they first met. So what I'm saying, Ruby, is that it means a lot, and hopefully Pipsqueak understands that it means a lot if Kit offers a little bit of crust to Pipsqueak. This is food. It's made of food.
Pipsqueak eats anything.
Of course, chimerically, all that you're seeing. No, I was going to say, chimerically, all you're seeing is these two chimerical pets roll around in the pizza and pretend to enjoy it, even though they're mostly just like it's one of. But as changelings, like you're having to like literally pick Pipsqueak up off the pizza and pull a slice out because Pipsqueak is just like, oh, this is warm. So you got this big tiger cub with a big belly, just kind of like laying on the cheese, just kind of kicking back. Unless you guys have anything y'all want to do.
Does Skeeta listen to the voicemail?
That's what I wanted to do.
Okay. Yeah, as you're watching all of this, you're watching your Motley about 10 feet away kind of all talk over in excitement as they're eating pizza and like catching up on, and Ruby, of course, is just throwing out ridiculous statements. And Aisling, is saying something, but nobody can hear her in the midst of the conversation. It's like all... And
sipping tea.
You can just see like a chin sticking out from underneath the rim of the big hat. Oh, you're pulling a Tom Petty, just eating the thing. Tom Petty, I should say. It's actually, even though that does happen, I'm actually referring to Willy Wonka. So yeah.
No, she's not eating her cup. She's dipping her pizza in her tea.
Oh, I pictured you eating the cup. I'm like, yeah, I can see Ashley
in the tea.
Yeah.
She's dipping pizza in tea.
She is playing a Kithane that is inspired by the nightmares of old, so this makes sense.
Giara decides to pretend not to see that happening.
Cries in British.
That's right. Yeah.
Most people
do. Anyway, sorry, I'm just having flashbacks of Meg Ryan going, "What are you doing? That is a garnish." Anyway,
it's delicious.
The voicemail that's waiting for you is a familiar voice, Abby Fields, who's one of your assistants at the agency. And it strikes the immediate tone of like the assistant doing the job. Hi, it's Abby calling you this evening. I'm sorry that I'm calling so late. Oh, damn it. Hold on. I'm sorry. I had my notepad here in a second. Now I have to vamp while I go look for it. La, la, la. I hope you've been enjoying the weather. I hope you've been... okay. Found it. Okay. So tomorrow, Vera, I have you scheduled for a 3:00. There's a 23-year-old kid that's coming in to audition for the agency. I know that you kind of wanted to specialize in more of a beep. Hi, sorry, I ran out of time. Okay, so there's a 23-year-old kid coming in tomorrow. He's not a wrestler. He doesn't do any of the stuff that we normally look for. he plays acoustic. He's really into country music. I know that you have sort of this. We don't currently represent any talent that's musical. So I thought, okay, well, at least I could listen to him. But it's somebody who just like left Los Angeles, but he doesn't want to make a home anywhere else in California. He's really into country music. He doesn't want to live in Bakersfield. It's kind of interesting. His name is Michael Yee, and I got to know him a little bit in the phone call, but that's all I've got. I watched a YouTube video of him. It's pretty interesting. And I forwarded you the link. So if you want to check your email, you should have it there. Okay, I'm rambling. Okay, that's all. It's at, I'm sorry, I got the time wrong. It's 3, and it clicks off. Hi, sorry, I ran out of time. It said, I don't know what time I told you before because I'm just totally lost in my brain right now, but I think it's actually 3 o'clock tomorrow. Yes, 3 o'clock tomorrow. 3 o'clock tomorrow, Michael Yee, country music singer, is just really wanting an appointment with you. Okay, that's it. Okay, good night. Click.
Is that the last one?
Yes, that was the last one.
Okay. All right, cool. I'm going to go to my email. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you see a link in your email. Okay. It says Michael Yee.
Watch it on my phone.
Yeah. So the first thing that you see that pops up is you see a 23-year-old man. And what immediately strikes you the moment you see it, Eliza, are two things. First of all, as the music begins to play, and he starts belting out George Strait, which you've only heard of but never really listened to. You're hearing what sounds like good classic, like early to mid 80s country, straight out of Texas. And you're kind of just listening to it. There's two things you notice. First of all, he's Chinese American, which immediately kind of like, oh, interesting, because that's something that doesn't often get promoted enough. And that clicks immediately when you're seeing this. But the other thing that strikes you is he's really good. Not only really good, Skeeta, but just watching this video, you can see the joy as he's singing and playing. Like, this kid is full on cowboy and is completely into it. He's dressed like a normal kid you might see just making a video on Instagram. Handsome, in his early 20s, and dressed in a t-shirt, not wearing a cowboy hat. Doesn't look like he's trying to pass himself off as like somebody from wherever the hell that the country music industry scene expects people to be from when they break out a guitar and sing. No, this is a kid that immediately strikes you as somebody who is 100% completely comfortable with who he is and 100% completely comfortable with what he loves, and is throwing himself into a music that you see immediately as ahead of the curve. This kid could be on America's Got Talent easy and turn heads as you're listening to him sing.
Okay. Great.
And then there's the comment section.
Oh, dear. Will I take any banality from reading the comment section?
Even though we, as people, typically do. No.
Do I want to read it?
But,
I don't want to read it.
But it's not great. You just kind of thumb through it, and you can already see, you're already getting a snapshot of what this brilliant artist has probably had to put up with as you're flipping through comments about his voice, comments about what I bet he doesn't even wear cowboy boots, like shitty, stupid comments as you're just flipping through. And there's a lot of positive ones. Oh my God, you sound amazing. There's a lot of like, hey, let's collab. You do see that, but there is an avalanche of shitty comments. What you do see, though, is despite the fact that you see some verified users complimenting him on his voice, the like to dislike ratio is horrible.
Okay. I probably have someone who can help with that.
Okay.
That's not a problem. Okay. Cool. Looking forward to meeting this person tomorrow, 3 p.m.
Okay.
Where are you, Skeeta?
Let's say I'm on the balcony. I'm imagining this house. I don't know how many bedrooms. It has several bedrooms, several bathrooms. It's also kind of on not a hill because it's by the ocean, maybe like a little bit of a cliffside type of situation. So there are levels. There's an elevator, and the bottom level is inside. There's the kitchen. There's a big, beautiful living room seating area. And then outside is where the pool is. And then this doesn't make sense, but whatever. The second floor is bedroom, a guest room or two, master bathroom, which is gorgeous. And then outside is where the hot tub is. And then there's a third floor that has like an exercise room and a library. And that's it. And maybe a little bit of a deck on the third
we
floor.
all live here now, right? That's like the rule, right? We all
probably all fit in this house.
Thanks for letting us move in.
Is it? Because I know I was in the hot tub and we did the closet thing.
Yep.
So are we like? Do you have like an in house like elevator deal?
Yes.
Yeah, that's so good.
If that's okay, Eric. Like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been in houses in LA that do that.
Yeah.
As have I. Honestly, yes.
I'm looking at my wealth again. What is my wealth? I forgot. It's high enough. It's
your resources rating.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's actually a little bit beyond resources 3.
Okay.
That's resources. Resources 3 is you are living comfortably and doing well for yourself. Resources 4 is you probably got a BMW and you've probably got a 2-story like apartment with an elevator in it. Resources 5 is your Bezos.
So I hopscotched up onto the balcony with the hot tub is how it went because I can use my treasure for that.
Okay.
I just wanted to know for sure how I got around because this is an important place now. There's little water here.
Yeah, I might spend because I have some XP to spend. I might spend it on another resources doc
on renovations. So I
can have this hat.
I love that.
And you could so normally when you're leveling up backgrounds, there has to be like story and role play behind it. But it's easy enough to say, especially if you're a talent agent, that residual checks have just come in recently, and
I made money.
I mean, one of the benefits of being an agent is you're getting a cut. So it's entirely possible that we could say, yeah, no, you had a client that did quite well this past month.
Okay,
so is doing well.
Yeah. So I'll say, I'm sorry, I'm putting in the elevator soon. And then maybe adding a third floor. Yeah. So yeah, the house is still kind of like in process, in progress.
Okay.
But to answer your question, Gina, I am, I'll say probably on the deck, the second floor deck, hanging out by the hot tub too. You can see me like looking on my phone, watching a video and scrolling through something.
That's when you notice that Aisling is directly behind you watching as well.
Okay. Aisling, you're watching a very handsome, very talented young man belt out an old country song of some kind. We'll say it's Amarillo by Morning by George Strait.
Another one. As soon as it finishes.
Okay.
You want to watch another one?
Yes.
Okay. Let me find another.
There's a few more.
Yeah.
I will say for the rest of the night, my antithesis is that the show must go on, and I will literally watch every single video of this person
that's posted. He's posted about 12 songs. One of them is just doing a conversation about the kind of guitar he likes to play, which is kind of unique. He explains that he was born with he has a condition that even at his age he is suffering from arthritis, and so he likes to use basically wide bridges to his guitar. So he has a custom made guitar that he uses that uses a silk steel string on a classical guitar fretboard. So it's nice and wide, and he explains how he plays it. So he can get a little bit. He can't get that full steel string like thing, but it does sound good. And he blew most of his college savings buying this guitar. It cost him.
Look at you and your guitar knowledge, Eric Campbell.
Oh, because I'm kind of describing my best friend back in Texas, Matt, has a 1969 acoustic Fender with these steel strings. It's built exactly like this, and I just want to make out with that guitar. But
disinfect it first.
The other videos that he has are him doing cover songs. He does one of the first one, his very first song, which is mind-blowing because you're getting a full range of how he sings. But Skeeta, he starts, you see he is belting out Hootie and the Blowfish. Like one of his very first songs is the song Time by Hootie and the Blowfish. And this kid is good. He is really good. The comment section here, it's very scattered. This is one of his first videos. He posted it about 2 years ago. But then you also see a couple of vlog entries that he's got. Aisling, however, is just going from song to song to song. And like, next. He does a couple of songs. He got a request to do a They Might Be Giants song, so he does it. And it is goofy as hell. He does a fully committed version of Triangle Man.
Is this one of your clients?
Well, I'm meeting with him tomorrow to see if he will become one of my clients. What do you think?
I think I'd like to come with you.
Yeah? Oh, Aisling, I've been meaning to ask you.
Yes?
Do you want representation as a streamer? Because I watch your streams and they're wonderful.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like I could get you sponsorship if you're interested.
Oh, I suppose. How much does representation cost?
It would only be 10% of what you make through me. Like if I get you opportunities, I would take 10% of that.
So that doesn't include tips?
No. No, it would be sponsorships. You keep the tips and the subs and all that stuff. That's yours. Mine would just be like, if I bring in a company to sponsor you for like $500 a stream, I would just get $50 from that. I mean, I would work to get you more money so I get more money. So I can build that third level.
Then tomorrow I'll come into your office.
Great.
Huh. Okay, another one.
Okay. I like found his TikTok and I'm just like
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Who has Giara's cell phone? Did anybody take that?
It was in her hoard bag.
Okay,
It's in her bag.
I think I found it.
Right, because it
and then
buzzed.
it
That
went
was
to
the thing that provoked the whole conversation about
Right.
it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I've acquired it. I looked through, like, once we were all like safe and like I had privacy, I like looked through the bag and Giara made sure that all of her trophies, it's mostly medals, her like martial arts medals from tournaments were all in there, and she's like, okay.
Yeah, that was not a light bag to carry, FYI.
The what?
I said that was not a light bag to carry, FYI. Just
they get kind of heavy after a while.
I feel like I had arm day.
It is a bit of a workout. It helps keep Giara a little jacked when she has no access to a gym. But she has her cell phone on her because she did find it in the back.
Bunch of missed calls from Skeeta. And basically, it looked like your Motley was trying to get a hold of you. You see clear signs of people just buzzing. Nothing else, though. Thankfully, no other calls. Right now, it's pretty late over in the UK. So, tipping on early since they're 8 hours ahead.
It'd be about 5 a.m. If it's 9 p.m.
Be creeping up on 6 a.m. right about now.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Which
and she
means
just mutes it and puts it in her pocket. She's like, okay,
you already know right now, as you're looking at that, Giara, and you're doing the math in your head of what time it is. You're figuring it's creeping up on 6, which means your dad's already up. And you already know his morning ritual. You can hear the box being closed as he's gathering up some of the things he's getting, like his keys and whatnot. He always enjoys a morning pipe. He's just old-fashioned that way. There is you can never keep track. There's an agency that they go through, so there's always somebody in the house that's helping. There's always like somebody who's getting the car, bringing it around the front. There's always somebody who is there's always somebody who's preparing breakfast. You can picture your parents right now, literally on the other side of the planet, knowing exactly the same thing every morning. The coldness of getting up, barely acknowledging the spouse from both of them, going about their daily routines of getting ready for the day's work, polite conversation about the next charity, meaningless conversations about some of the things that they were planning for the week, and then, of course, mockery of people that they feel have not upheld their social contract of being people of society. You can hear it all. You know it like clockwork right now. On the other side of the world, you know exactly what your dad is doing.
Giara just mutters to herself, miserable existence.
What? And they're just over the edge of the hot tub, and at the back of the hot tub, weirdly far, the end of their tail.
Giara just like puts like do not disturb mode on her phone and just slides it in a back pocket, not ready to like look at any more notifications. No, I was just talking to myself a little bit. Wondering where is there any more pizza? Just,
There's like a lot.
Ruby's holding the box and being like, no.
Okay, would you like me to order more? I'd love more pizza.
Ruby's literally, I'm guessing you're holding up a full box of pizza and saying no and showing it to her.
It's not full, it's just
half there.
It's like two slices in. Wait. There's still plenty.
Yeah.
There's still some in there. Oh, pass it over. Let me have some.
Didn't feel like spending a willpower point. I take it, Bonnie.
I'm not spending willpower on pizza.
You say that now.
Good for you. Good for you.
Not yet. I'm saving that for something important, like
you coward.
Gummy bears.
All right.
Well, Giara's gonna grab a piece and like just starts eating some pizza, so she doesn't have to talk.
So this is going to be a moment. I don't think any of you have, but if any of you has spent any temporary willpower, please gain it back. If you have burned 1 point of temporary willpower, I don't think anybody has, but if you have, gain it back to reflect the fact that the Motley gathers together and has a pizza party with one another late into the night. This is whatever happened this evening or whatever crazy stuff is going on out there, or any of the stuff that's going on out there that's out of control, that's out of your immediate understanding of what's happening. A better way to phrase it than the unfortunate deprogramming that is required here. But the point is that the pressures and the unpredictability of the world that has taken place in just the past 24 hours, because remember, it was earlier this morning where you were fighting to save that young woman who was stepping off the curb in front of a bus. It was just this morning when you all battled that nightmare and then battled a second nightmare at the elementary school.
It's Pinkberry today.
It was Pinkberry today. That's how long this day has been. It's been a total of about 12 hours since this whole episode really got underway with the nightmares and everything else that's coming into play. And it's starting to finally fall off of all of you as you begin to enjoy each other's company. And it just clicks. It's almost like the dreaming was definitely at work here, bringing a lot of you together. Because as you continue to chat with each other and crack jokes, casually noticing that this place is an apartment that has its own hot tub, and there's a freaking merfolk in that hot tub right now enjoying a slice of pizza. There is a gothic doll-like nightmare that is whispering very pleasant things about a YouTuber who's playing music on a cell phone, and the mom figure, the Skeeta, just like taking note of this kid that you're going to meet tomorrow. Skeeta, you can never tell just from listening, but you would not be surprised if this kid was a dreamer, or at the very least, ready to become one. And then, Ruby, This morning, despite the hellacious things that happened to you with the Hellhound, the truth of the matter is today, on this day, even though Holly didn't get to go to the party, even though you had to tromp off into the woods and stop a forest fire and rescue a Motley member, this is also Professor Scooter's birthday.
We should be celebrating his birthday.
This, though it has been pure chaos, each one of you steals a moment to regard your friends, your Motley mates from across the room in the midst of a laugh or a conversation, or somebody once again asking Aisling what the hell she just said. They can't hear her. You all steal moments regarding each other. And that is reflected in the temporary restoration of any willpower points that are lost, as you all sort of manage to sink into the fellowship of the Motley and get that restorative energy from each other's presence. The care that's given to one another, the space that's given to one another when you see somebody kind of like a little zoned out or whatever. And this goes well into about midnight or so. As things begin to wind down, I'm curious, before I continue, do you all crash here for the night, or do you all head back to your respective...
When I said it's a party, it's a party. It's now become a slumber party, and the fort has been made.
That's a Skeeta call.
Skeeta says yes.
Yeah, they're all welcome. Yeah,
Even
you're all welcome to stay here.
Even though the
Skeeta does the gladiator thing and just kind of
in the guest bathroom, Aisling sleeps in the cupboard under the sink.
Okay.
I'm asleep at the bottom of your pool.
Yeah. Curled up under the surface of the water. You can just see comfortable sleeping under the surface of the water and completely undisturbed by the content of the chlorine in the pool. Just totally comfortable. Completely comfortable.
Just wait till morning.
I know. Yeah.
Please tell me you have a hammock.
What is going on with my eyes this morning?
All the worst allergies.
Pipsqueak and I are on a hammock if there's a hammock.
You know, you could get one of those generically made. Probably.
I make a hammock.
Well, you'd have to learn how to craft it. You'd have to go. As y'all are going to sleep for the night, and everyone starts to bed down
with my magical fairy powers. Sorry.
As
Xander says, let me make a hammock.
As the night starts coming to an end, and everyone finally starts to sort of, you've reached that point in the conversation where the energy of the conversation has just slumped enough where you're all starting to notice long stretches of silence between the last thing somebody else said. And it's kind of cluing you all in that everyone's tired and it's time to go to bed. Much like it was when we were kids having sleepovers. You all begin to realize that it's time to like call it a night. Lights are being, people are like sharing the bathroom and using it. Aisling declares that that's going to be where she's sleeping underneath. Aisling, just before you turn away, as lights are being shut off, Aisling, you glance outside the window to the beautiful view of the Pacific Ocean. And for a split second, there is a spike of icy fear as you see a baleful yellow eye staring back at you through the reflection, until you realize it's actually just the moon reflecting off the surface of the water behind a dark cloud on the edges of the Pacific.
I show the moon the video of the young man who sings.
You hold up Skeeta's phone, which you still have, and playing it. And I imagine a beautiful, like, drone shot, like, pull away of the building of the Sluagh just standing on the balcony holding up a song.
He's singing Dust in the Wind.
Singing Dust in the Wind. This dreamer waiting to be found by this Motley, holding it up as his music echoes out into the night. We pull away, and for now, at the very least, we leave ourselves, this Motley, in the Barony of Olives. All right.
Yay.
GG, y'all.
GG. Full Motley!
Full
Motley!
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 You know who everyone's talking about when we say things now.
Yeah, exactly. Poor Bonnie has been.
Yeah, Adriana, the entire episode last time, no one explained who you were to Ruby, so we just kept referring to you.
Ruby had
who
no.
are we going to see?
I don't
Ruby
understand
was-
half of what's going on anyway. Now you're just in my boat.
Ruby was literally like Dark Helmet, trying to figure out like who, where,
Where? What? Like we're going to a party. Why? And that's why when I saw you, you're just like, "Is this real?" I'm like, "Ah!" I just slapped you. Who are you?
That's so great.
Yeah.
Just slap like, like, okay, this is real.
All right, time to dole out some XP, my friends. Time to dole out some XP. All right, so first off, everyone gains an automatic point of experience for being here tonight, so thank you for that. Learning curve time, asking a point. I want to ask each and every one of you, if you can just explain to me briefly, and we'll start with you, Ruby. What did your characters learn? Did you have a moment where Ruby learned something or had a realization tonight? Was there a moment that about tonight's events, over the course of events, where you feel like you
I
you
think
learned something?
Ruby, for the first time today, with like everyone all together, and this is the first time she felt like it's kind of reminds her of her circus family, or like the carnival family, of like we're all so different and so weird and come from all different walks of life, but we're all together and we're all working together. So it's like the first time she's felt since being away from home that she has like a home. I would say like this is like a found family, because I feel like Ruby is a loner a lot of the time, on her own. I'm not saying she's kind of weird and also doesn't tell the truth. So yeah, I feel like she feels a little out of place sometimes among mere mortals, and so now she's finally found her wacky circus family away from the circus.
All right, good answer. How
She
about
doesn't
you,
mind
Giara?
that you're all so different.
How about you, Giara?
Can you repeat the question? Because my
What did Giara learn?
My brain is. I just got back from the UK actually, and my brain is still like it's 5 a.m. for me right now.
You are so method. You are so method.
Yeah.
Giara, I was asking, what do you think she learned tonight? Did she learn anything that you think?
Oh my God,
did she had a realization? Was there something that really occurred to her? And it doesn't have to be profound. It doesn't have to be like what Bonnie just said. It could be like, yes, I like pizza, as it turns out. Like, it could be anything.
No, Giara learned that there are people out there who, even after just briefly meeting them, you form genuine connections, and they actually care about you, and they will go out of their way to care for you and help you when you're in need. Like, no conditions, nothing. It's new to her, and she's learning that it actually exists.
Okay, that's
She's
good.
found it with this Motley.
I was like, it doesn't have to be profound or moving, and Adriana was like, "Bam!"
I had a lot of time to
Build,
think
innit?
myself lately.
Cluricon to the feels.
Yeah, Cluricon to the feels. Skeeta, how about you?
Well, by the way, I couldn't hear Adriana's because I don't know why this program sometimes makes me not hear her tonight. But anyway, I'll rewatch it so I can hear what she learned. Skeeta tonight learned a few things. She learned that there's someone out there who did a bunk and then disappeared and beat up our friend. Weird. She also learned about Michael Yee, this new person, potential dreamer. And she finally got to ask Aisling. She's been wanting to ask this for a while, to get a feel for whether Aisling would want to be represented. So
that's true. You've been sitting on that one for a hot minute, haven't you?
Yeah. Yep. I was waiting for the right moment to ask.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. All right. How about you, Holly?
Well, Holly arrived onto land knowing that there were a lot of things that they didn't know, a lot of known unknowns. but like, fire. They knew they didn't know about fire, but they knew they didn't know it, and they needed to learn about it because it is very important on land. We don't know why, but it is. It comes up in all of their books. They talk about it a lot. But they also learned how much they didn't even know. They didn't know the unknowns, like how different even just the nature is. And I think the weight of how different magic feels on land settled in for Holly in the first casting that didn't take, that should have, that even just talking to nature is different here. It's not just being in a new country. It's not just being an exchange student. There is something tangibly different about this place. And all of their preparation, and there's still so much they didn't even know they don't know.
Yep. Good stuff. I'm super curious to find out what Aisling learned tonight.
Aisling learned that she has a new favorite musician.
That is perfect. After everything, like Aisling is like folded 3 different ways and is sitting underneath the sink just listening to this video as you go to sleep.
I am still a teenage girl. And he plays guitar really good.
Oh, and he's pretty.
And he's pretty.
Yep. All right. I'm giving everyone another XP tonight.
Second thing. I think also secondarily, Aisling learned that she can in fact sleep at someone else's house and feel comfortable, even if it's more very, very, very small.
That's a big deal.
This is 100% the first time she slept somewhere that was not her home.
That's a big deal. Okay, that's great. Everyone's going to gain another XP tonight for the role play. And just very quickly, I'm going to start with you, Aisling, and go back around. What was your favorite role play moment tonight from one of the other players?
I'm going to give it to Bonnie for immediately punching because holding that thread that she did not know what Giara looked like or what to encounter, that immediately was like, oh, this must be the bad thing.
Yeah, she was covered in blood, like gory,
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to know.
Yeah, but like you could have very easily meted that moment and dropped your fists and been fine. But you stuck with the narrative that your character knew and punched the person that we were looking for.
And it is also worth knowing. It is also worth. It's a piece of information that the Motley should probably note. Is that when Giara took that punch, Giara just took the punch, like was okay. Didn't get angry, didn't seem to flinch.
Oh yeah.
So worth noting.
It was like a friendly, hey, buddy.
Sure. All right,
we talk very differently to our friends.
Yeah. How about you, Holly?
Oh, well, I am a sucker for clever use of game mechanics, particularly when something like this system is not totally loosey-goosey like Pibita, come up with just some random magic, nor is it perfectly D&D-ishly, invisible sunishly fixed spells. That the little wiggle space in between is so interesting and challenging to navigate. And all of this is just a run up to campfire. This is all a run up to campfire.
Yeah.
Campfire.
Really clever.
11 out of 10 campfire.
Yeah. Agreed. Awesome. Yeah, that's good. How about you, Skeeta?
Mine goes to Giara. Waking up in the middle of the forest, bruised and bloodied, and having no idea what has happened. And in general, Adriana, I just love how you're like very deeply committed when you're RPing. You're just like really in character and really invested. And I always love to see that. So Yeah.
Thank you. I like it. It's so fun.
Mm-hmm. Nice. How about you, Giara?
I've got to think about this.
Yep, you have a melted
Everyone
brain,
did
so you.
amazing. My favorite moment, I would say, goes to Holly. And it was over that moment where they wanted to they wanted so badly to go to this fancy thing and like wear the dress and exist and be fancy. But they also were so aware of how hurt Giara was and put that one, like, as hard as it was, they put it aside and were like, well, we could all just go rest at Skeeta's place, even though they wanted so badly to go to that dance or I keep forgetting what the event was. It was like the announcement.
It was the orientation. It was like the formal orientation for the school.
Yes, the orientation. The dressy uppy thing.
Yep, the dressy
I mean, we
uppy
kind of made it into a party. We decided that the formal orientation was an orientation formal.
Yeah.
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 But that just means we can make our own fun anywhere, and we did.
But yes.
Nice. How about you, Ruby?
Speaking of party, mine goes to Skeeta for letting us crash and party at her place, letting me make a hammock on her balcony. And I think one of my favorite moments of tonight was all of us creating our evil pizza from
That's the most cursed pizza in the world.
Literally ordering pizza and going, okay, everyone pick a topping. And I was like, you mean for multiple pizzas? And she's like, oh no, they're on all one pizza. So thank you,
We're
Elisa,
changelings.
for that visual and mental taste that I got in my mouth with the anchovies and the goat cheese and the
once the barbecue sauce was added to the mix, I was like, oh yeah.
I love how you also just assume you found a hammock or that you built a hammock.
Oh, it happened.
You're like, oh no. You don't get to say no to this.
Yeah. Like I won't spend willpower on pizza, but I will on a hammock. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, that's great. And I'm going to give one more point of XP. Just everyone, phenomenal game tonight. Like, it was a really good night. And really, it's sort of the setup to the big mystery. Now that we're all finally here and the Motley is together, we're finally really diving into what is going on here at the Barony of Olives. And you've only just scratched the surface, but there is clearly a mystery in play. And for some reason, a member of your Motley has been targeted. And where are the nightmares coming from? And why are they happening the way they are? All to be discovered. But until then, my friends, thank you so much for both supporting the StreamPunks in our dreams and for tuning in tonight and joining us on this adventure. We will see you next Monday night. Until then, sweet dreams.